Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the boardroom. Today is April 15th of 2020 and it is still quarantine season. Welcome back everybody. Glad you guys could join us. We are the boardroom. Let me introduce to you my co-host today, the Dawn of 2 Cent Toys, Salvador. What's up, brother?
Oh, not much, man. Hello and salutations to everybody. I am Salvador, and I woke up about 30 minutes ago because I am on nights, so this is my almost 8 a.m. Um, I am here to discuss some toys and a poll that we're introducing, and I think tonight's going to be a great show. Thank you all for coming by.
All right. And down below us is the man of the hour, the chairman of the boardroom, the Etep of the
Greet,
Place Reviews.
greetings, to sorry, it's me. Hey, oh, it's me. I am just fucking. I'm just. Hey, how you doing, guys? Great to be here. That wasn't even planned. I'm just kind of out of my mind tonight, but that's all right because it's Wednesday. We're here for the boardroom. We're gonna talk some toys with Salvador. We've of course got Florida Man stories. I'm gonna rant about Star Wars and one other thing I really wanted to get in. It's not Star Wars related, but it's real quick, and we'll talk about it later on. Thanks for having me on, Cody. Good to be back, brother.
Oh man, I am so happy to be back every
Yes,
two
sir.
weeks, and it makes it just that much more special that we get to do this.
It does, man. It's nice. It's nice.
So man, it's lately it's been crazy. I mean, the whole quarantining thing and how you guys hanging.
Short shriveled a little to the left.
Nice, nice.
I'm good, man. We got picked up a new TV today, so that means I got a new TV in my den. So I'm good, and
Dope.
it's one of those newfangled ones with all the apps on the TV there. So even a almost boomer like me could figure it out. That's so yeah, it was it's pretty fun to of course we get it on and my kid is like screaming, I went Disney Plus. I'm like, all right, because he saw the little picture on the box. It showed
Oh
that
boy.
it was available on there. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Or when we were looking at the ad, he saw it. So I brought it home and he's like, he calls it the Disney Plus TV. I'm like, all right. So I put it on. First movie he wants to watch. He wanted to watch Onward again. So he sat there and watched. Well, I only watched a couple minutes of it because I had to finish the video. But yeah, it was just the picture quality in a 4K compared to standard high def is just like night and day, dude. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's that'll be fun to watch, and I've got YouTube on it too. So now I can just sit there at night when I'm not playing video games after and catch up on you guys' videos and watch them on the fucking big screen now. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it is, dude. I watched a couple earlier. It's fun. I like it.
Dang. Well, I would like to get another TV, but I've had this one. It's pretty solid for my room. It's probably like a 46-inch or something. Not too
Mm,
bad. I mean, not that I need like a 60-inch for my room or anything, but hey, we just got paid today, so
yep.
Yep.
my
Yeah.
parents go. My parents go. No more Amazon unless you
Haha.
need to buy ammo or a gun. I'm like,
Can you buy ammo on Amazon?
no,
I didn't
but
think you could.
there's like no Amazon. Like save your money unless you buy a gun or something. I'm like, oh okay, well that's not oh, okay. I'll use that excuse. Okay. So, gentlemen, what topic are we going to discuss first? Are we going over to you, Sal?
That is correct, because I have the least interesting topic of everybody tonight.
I
Um,
doubt that, but
we are going to discuss some toys. Nothing new necessarily has been announced. I mean, some things happened the last week, but we've covered that on previous shows. Um, we are going to talk toy availability in the current climate we're in. Now, to preface this, for those that are unfamiliar, think of it as like concert tickets or, movie tickets on an opening night. Toys are subject and victim to scalpers. Normally, when to specifically say things like Marvel Legends or anything from a major IP like He-Man, TMNT, typically when newer toys from those IPs come out, there are full-fledged adults like myself who collect toys. Shocker, I know, but there are worse adults who will go and clean out the store's entire inventory to flip them online. And they justify themselves as saying, well, if it weren't for me, some people wouldn't have a chance at getting these toys. It's like, well, if you weren't there, we would have a chance. You buy up all the stock when there's demand and you have the supply. So they see themselves as righteous individuals and helping out the online community. It's like, how about you help out your normal here community first, motherfucker? Like all the time, you'll see. A prime example is the Red Hulk, which I finally got and reviewed on the channel a couple weeks ago. They're at all the Targets. There's about 4 or 5 of them here locally, and I called all of them, and each of them independently gave me the same story that there were 2 gentlemen in the metro area that were tracking. Because there's websites called like BrickSeek and the like, where you type in the TCPI and it lets you know where they are in transit and which stores have what and how much. And apparently they were using that, and they broke off and each hit all the Targets and wiped out their inventory every time they got any in. Sometimes they didn't even hit the floor yet. They'd come in, they'd buy all of them and flip them online. So they're kind of creating a higher demand for things instead of letting things trickle out and people go and get them. They buy up everything. Now, with all that, they're the scum of the earth. I hate them, and I hope you stub your toe on the frame of your bed for the rest of your life if you do that. So, with things like Marvel Legends, there's a gimmick called a Build-A-Figure, which is where they take a larger figure that might cost a little bit more, and they kind of cut them up into pieces, and they put a piece with each figure in a particular wave, as what we call them waves. And you have to buy all those figures to make that Build-A-Figure, or not. You don't have to do that, but if you really love the Build-A-Figure, you're kind of tied to doing that. Other companies like Mattel, when they had the DC line, they had Collect and Connect is what they called it, because I guess Hasbro copyrighted Build-A-Figure, even though Build-A-Figure, it's a lot like saying Kleenex or Xerox. It like, oh, I need to make a Xerox or something. It's like, well, Xerox is a brand. You're just making a copy. Or do you have a Kleenex, which is a brand, but you're just asking for a tissue? So
Yeah.
Build-A-Figures kind of become the de facto term for it, because I guess Hasbro kind of did it first, I guess. But we also deal with something that we call swappers, which are people who are really fucking low lives that will buy figures like Marvel Legends, for example, are in the 6-inch scale, and they'll go buy a bunch of those, but then they'll go to the Dollar Tree and buy up like those little dollar hollow plastic ninjas. They'll open up the Marvel Legend, they'll put the plastic ninja in there, and then they'll return the Marvel Legend to Walmart or Target or wherever and get all the money back.
Oh,
That's
And
insane.
yeah, it's theft.
yeah.
It really is. It's theft. And the people there, they're not paid enough to care, so I really don't fault them for it. But they'll take it back and they'll put it on the shelf. And like the other day, I was looking at some of the newer toys, not newer, but new-ish. They're within the last 9 months, 10 months, and they had the Build-A-Figure pieces swapped out. The figures were swapped out. And you'll take them like I do. I take them up to the front, and I'm like, "Hey, these," and I show them on the box, like, "This is clearly incorrect. Like, this is someone stole this." And they say, "Oh, thanks," and then you go back a week later, and they're back on the shelf with a clearance sticker on them. So,
Mm.
but it's not that. I mean, it hurts the collector community just because it's like, wow, I thought I found this figure because online it says it's in stock, and you go there and it's not in stock because of DCPI and the like. But what it really hurts are like well-intentioned parents, well-intentioned grandparents. They're like, "Oh, he said he wanted this, and it has the name on the box, and it's the wrong figure." So it's all shitty. It's fucked up, and they're the scum of the earth. And I hope that after the scalpers stub their toe on the bed, that the swapper immediately butts heads with them, and they have a concussion. Um, with that, and a very long kind of roundabout way of getting to what my topic is about is toy availability in the current climate. Because people are so wrapped up in buying toilet paper right now, pun intended. Um, Toys, I have no problem finding them. Currently, like we've had 2 waves drop in the last week. We've had the what they call the Gamerverse Abomination drop, and that's this new Avengers video game coming out. So they have figures based on that video game. that whole wave has dropped. I can find it pretty much anywhere. And the MCU Black Widow wave has dropped, and I can pretty much find it anywhere because people aren't wrapped up in buying toys or wrapped up in buying toilet paper and eat loaves of bread that they could never possibly eat before they expire. So it's kind of a blessing. While other people are buying things that might actually help their survival, I'm buying plastic toys. So
Well, no different than people buying video games out the yin yang and
true.
buying
There
all
was
kinds of crazy shit.
there were so many people in the video game section today at Walmart when I was there.
Really?
By my TV. Yeah, dude. Oh my God, there was so many people there. It was like ridiculous. Like I was pretty much alone, like over there looking at the TVs and stuff like that. But there was like at least 6, 7 people. Like they were. I mean, everybody was kind of like trying to keep like a good distance from each other, and being pretty polite with like walking up to the case and everything. And it was kind of good to see. It gave me a little bit of faith in humanity. But then the people that walked by me were like looking at me like I was like I'm like I moved too, and I'm like sitting here on my phone like reading reviews and stuff like that. I'm like, but yeah, dude, the video game section was pretty packed up this morning, and I was there at like 9:30.
Damn, that's early.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been to Walmart in weeks. I just can't deal with that.
I was up at 6, so
Ugh.
Yeah, that's the trick. You gotta either get there really early or get there late.
Yep.
One of the two.
You get there in between, you're mashed.
I live near a bunch of old people. That's like a lot of my town. So all the old people are up at like 5 or 6 already. And it's like, okay, well.
Come on, Harold, it's time to go to Country Kitchen Buffet.
Oh my God. It's similar to that. It's just like they get up early. And it's like, oh, let's go to the gym at 5:30 in the morning. It's like, no.
Yep.
I was done with 5 a.m. gym stuff like in college. I'm good. So Sal, you got any toys or Marvel Legends things coming out lately? Or
I do actually. That was another thing I was gonna bring up was pre-orders. Conversely, like regular stock is showing up to stores just fine, like Walmart and Target, but conversely, pre-orders keep getting pushed back. Yeah, shut the hell up. Go inside your apartment. My fucking neighbors are noisy as shit.
I heard that.
I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, they think that this little my apartment complex is a bunch of kind of buildings that are connected via outdoor walkways, and so it's in groups of 8. So 4 apartments face each other, 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top, and there's like these little breezeways that people walk in between, and they just love to go out there and hang out and have full conversations, which really should be held in their apartments in private, because I've heard people talking about like their fucking herpes and shit like that, and I'm like,
oh, nice.
Yeah.
or they want to complain about the cops because they're like, yeah, so and so got pulled over the other day. He wasn't even going that high over the speed limit, and they found weed in his car, so he got arrested. Like, yeah, fuck the cops. I'm like, he broke the law.
Yep.
He was going 80 in a 65.
Not his fault. Still not his fault.
Now the dogs are starting. Because my neighbors, again...
is your neighbor Michael Vick? Jesus.
Yeah, no. My neighbors, again, don't have a concept of dogs. Like, they're those people that have the dog because they want a dog, not they have the dog because they know how to take care of it or can take care of it, or even or are even in the position in life to take care of it.
Oh, yeah.
So they just bark and go crazy, do whatever the hell they want.
I can't stand people like that.
Yeah, it's bad. I have a lot of less than desirable people in my complex. But
I lived in a Section 8, man. You don't have to tell me about that shit. I was like one of the only people there that actually got up every morning and went to work. I just lived there because like when I was in my early 20s, I got in there, because I wasn't making much money, and it was my first place. And then I put it in my ex's name because she was going to college because it was income based, and the rent went up because when I started making money. So I was like, fuck it, I put it in her name because she wasn't even working. She was just going to school. So I was paying like $100 a month for my fucking rent.
I wish. But no, that's the curse when you're in my line of work, and because you have to put down your employment on your application,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the rent normally is. When you're in my line of work, they're like, "Oh, this is your rent," and it's like, thanks,
Yeah.
appreciate it. I love spending all of my money on rent. I love
Yeah.
it. But so I think they've finally sequestered themselves away into their fucking little caves. Um, but yeah, so the pre-orders before all this really kicked off into high gear, like we'd had rumblings of the Icarumba chews, and so I knew due to the country of origin that toys would probably slow down a little bit because that's where most of our toys come from. And I was like, okay, things will probably slow down for a little bit, but they'll pick back up. And, you know, right on time, I got a phone call from GameStop because they know me on a first name basis there. Because if you watch my channel, you'll know like 90% of my toys come from GameStop. Um, they're like, hey, just so you know, this, and they kind of listed off every single pre-order except for like 2 or 3. They're like, they've been pushed back a month, and I was like, okay, that was back in March. And I got a phone call a couple days ago. They're like, hey, they've been pushed back to May, and I'm like, outstanding.
Yeah. Damn.
So the channel, a lot of you have been spoiled. You've had daily content for a while because this may come as a shock to you, but I record probably 5 or 6 videos at once and then upload them to go live at certain days. That's probably going to come to a halt here in the next week or so. It'll maybe be every other day, or more likely maybe twice or once a week, just because there's nothing new coming out for me to talk about, and I can only talk about my order stuff so much. I can only make so many videos about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So expect different content. It's not all going to be reviews because I'm moving into territory that's not review based, like customizing and talking about my order toys and my memories of being a child. Not that anyone cares about that necessarily, but yeah. So that's why things are kind of coming to a standstill a little bit. But I do have a Stan Lee that just came in a couple days ago, and technically he came in early. He wasn't supposed to be released until tomorrow. So that review is live on the channel now. You can go watch it after the stream. It's worth it. It's a really nice homage to Stan Lee. And, excuse me, have a couple videos going live up until Saturday. And after that, I'm going to have more stuff that I've already filmed. But I have a Red Guardian. I picked him up at Walmart, and I picked up Crossbones at Walmart. Both those figures suck ass.
Really?
That's
it's
depressing.
Yeah, it's bad. Like I only got Red Guardian on a whim. Like I don't collect the MCU figures anymore, but I was like, he looks cool. I don't have a Red Guardian, so I'll get him. And then I reviewed him. I was like, this figure's fucking trash.
Is it like just a fat blob like David Harbour, just a fat tubby guy with no range of motion or something?
No, he has range of motion, and the sculpt looks nice. It's just it feels like crap. Like it feels like stupid cheap. Like they cut back the plastic by like 30 or 40% almost.
Dang.
So yeah, it's kind of upsetting. And then Crossbones, like it's hard to explain. It's like the quality of plastic from in 2015 was fine, but they've made improvements gone with better plastic and better sculpts. And Crossbones feels like they just plucked them right out of 2015. Or like, yep, here you go. This is Crossbones. It's the same figure, some shit. I don't know, but I was not impressed.
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh.
And yeah, that's really about it. Toys, mass market are more available, but the ones you pre-ordered and paid for are slowing down. Like I bought a figure, so I have Amazon Prime. I always have, and I think Prime's worth it. I'm one of those people that I'd rather order something on Prime and have it show up instead of me go get it. And for some reason, I ordered it, 4 or 5 days ago, and it said expected delivery date is May 4th. And I'm like, that's weird because it's Prime eligible. Why is it not? And they're like, oh, we're making priority over certain this, that, and the other. I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense because there's a Prime warehouse like down the interstate from here, and they have like the Prime little vans that drive around.
Just go pick it up yourself.
Yeah, like I don't get it. But other things that I ordered like from Prime show up in 2 days, even though they are toys. I don't get it. But yeah, so that's toy availability is kind of backwards from what it normally is. Normally the pre-orders show up and Prime shows up, but then mass market stuff takes a couple months. Like Walmart usually gets these lines. For example, earlier, I'd say probably second quarter of 2019, we had about 3 Marvel Legends waves just drop all at once. We had the armored Thanos version, or the armored MCU Thanos, the what we called Smart Hulk, and the Caliban wave all drop at once. And they were showing up at such a rate that Walmart was having to like clearance them out as soon as they showed up because they were so far behind that like as soon as Smart Hulk showed up, he was on clearance. As soon as Caliban showed up, they were on clearance. Like it was ridiculous. So it's kind of flipped in the opposite direction recently.
I swear for God, you just said Taliban wave the first time. I was like, wait, did I hear him wrong? Wait, what?
I probably did.
I was like, the what wave? Marvel Legends made a fucking Taliban wave? That shit is lit.
Hell yeah. Fuck 'em.
Is that who the new G.I. Joe figures are fighting against?
No, those new
They're
G.I.
fighting
Joe
against
figures,
Antifa.
Yeah. No, they're fighting against themselves because they look like shit. But yeah, so that about wraps up my toy talk, which brings me to the next topic, which is just something that is in the works and we'll be discussing up until Father's Day. We're going to let all of you, our listeners, subscribers, supporters, followers, whatever you want to call it, we are hosting the ultimate, undeniable, #1 super happy fun time sitcom dad. Now, we would have done this for Mother's Day, but my dumb ass didn't think of it until like last week, and there's not enough time between now and Mother's Day to do the best sitcom mom. We are doing Who's the Best Sitcom Dad. Now, we're trying to keep it from probably the late 70s into the probably 90s going into the 2000s just to kind of, narrow it a little bit, because otherwise we could end up with like shit from the 50s and 60s and modern stuff, which I don't really think counts. We're talking like the epitome, like, you can justify it however you want. It can be whoever you wanted to have as a dad, whoever you thought was the funniest in the show, whoever you thought was really the best dad underneath it all. So we're talking Red Foreman, we're talking Tim the Tool Guy, we're talking fucking Al Bundy, we're talking Homer Simpson, we're talking whatever Fred Savage's dad was on the Wonder Years.
Mr. Keaton on what is that? The show with Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
Was that not Silver? Was that Silver Spoons? No, that was Ricky Schroeder.
So,
Fuck. No, I can't think of it.
Yeah, so go ahead and start dropping them in the chat. We'll probably, what we're going to do is a round robin, is we're just going to take all the names that we possibly can between now and the next show, and then probably 24 hours, 48 hours before the show, have people vote, and we're going to start eliminating people. Now, once the poll goes live, we can't add anybody. So if you want people to, see Franchise History TV, Uncle Phil, that was something that we were going to talk about, was Uncle Phil. While he's not a TV dad to Will, he's his uncle, he was more of a dad to Will than Will's dad ever was. So I think that his inclusion on the list should be there. But
if you ever watch that one scene between him and his real dad leaving, and then he goes, and then he hugs Uncle Phil.
Yep.
If you don't cry during that scene, you're a piece of shit. Like honestly.
Yeah.
That thing, that scene makes me like tear up every time, man.
No, the one I think might give him a run for his money, and this is my personal one that I'm thinking, is Dan Connor.
Oh, from Roseanne. Yep.
I wanted him to be my dad so bad when I was a kid. But, that's neither here nor there. And then on Father's Day...
He's not even on the list.
Yeah. And then on Father's Day, or as close to Father's Day as we can get, we'll go live, we'll announce the winner, and then we'll announce who we would have picked and why. And, it'll just be fun to include all you guys. So, between now and, what would you guys say, probably the next boardroom episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, just start dropping names, comments. We'll probably start a post on the Place to Be Reviews fan page or something.
Yep.
And let people just submit names, and then it's gonna be fun.
Absolutely. We'll set that up in there, and we'll get we'll put our heads together, do a little research, and I can do up a bracket or something like that for it.
Mm-hmm. So, and the more involvement we have, the better it'll be. Because I'd really hate to have, I don't know, 12 names or something out of the gate, and then people only vote on 3 people.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do this round robin thing where between now and Father's Day we eliminate 4 people at a time or however many, so that way we're left with 4 at the end,
Oh,
ideally.
franchise history just got a good one right there, man. Frank Costanza. See?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Serenity now, insanity later.
Hell yeah,
I
Festivus.
a Festivus for the rest of us. As I rained down blows upon him, I thought to myself, there's got to be a better way. And out of that, a Festivus for the rest of us was born.
Hell
What?
yeah.
Festivus for the rest of us.
I've watched that episode a few times. I celebrate Festivus, man. I've got the poll and everything. Come dragging it out every year. Tell Eric and Trey how they've disappointed me.
I never understood the full scope of Festivus. That's from Seinfeld, right?
Yep, it was a real holiday. The one of the producers, his dad invented it, and it was not always on December 23rd. It was a floating holiday that his dad could basically just say, "Hey, this is happening right now at any point in the year." But for purposes of the TV show, they made it December 23rd, and yeah, they had the airing of the airing of General Grievous's, and he came in and he killed the Jedi. The airing of grievances and the feats of strength and shit like that. Just craziness, man. Like, and he did not want them to make that into an episode, but when the other writers were like, "Oh hell yeah, that's gonna be an episode," they fucking made it as one of the best. That's like one of my favorite episodes ever.
Hell yeah.
I need to get into that. I've watched Seinfeld before, but I've never gotten into it.
Oh god, franchise said his dad celebrates Festivus too. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, that's awesome. See, man, I've got a Festivus fucking magnet on my refrigerator. My sister got me. That's my goal. Is when we can travel again, and don't have to worry, because my sister lives in Harlem, New York. I want to go to New York, and this sucks because they're moving to New Jersey. So like, I wanted to go when they were in New York, because I want to do the Seinfeld tour. That's like one of 2 things I want to do in New York. Is I want to do the Seinfeld tour, and then I want to go to a Yankee game. So
That'd be dope.
yeah.
Wait, what? Like, what do you celebrate in Festivus? Like, what's the whole purpose of it?
Oh, you just have a poll and you tell your family how they disappoint you. And we don't do the feats of strength because, well, Trey can't take me, and I can't hit my wife in all good faith. So
So it's literally just you stand around the pole and you roast each other.
oh, you roast each other at dinner. The poll is just there because it requires no decoration, because Frank found tinsel distracting. Oh
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I would be afraid to celebrate that with my old man, because he would never shut up on how I've disappointed him. Shit.
Man,
He would have started years ago and still been talking.
you'd be getting a lot of presents, man.
It would have been like a filibuster.
Holy shit. Man, oh man.
My dad is Red Foreman, dude. He is like a cross between Red Foreman and Arlie Ermy.
Hell yeah.
But he looks like what's his name? He used to play linebacker for the Bears, Dick Butkus. That's my buddies used to call him Dick Butkus. Yeah,
That's funny.
he looks like Mike Ditka and Dick Butkus had a kid, and that's my dad.
Damn.
Ditka.
All right. Now, who would win between Coach Ditka and a hurricane?
Or them hurricanes, even if it's a stage 5 hurricane, I gotta go Ditka.
Now, hold on.
What?
The hurricane's name is Hurricane Ditka.
Oh, Hurricane Ditka versus Ditka. Well, the only one I can pick. Hang on a second. Let me eat this. I'm just having another heart attack here.
It makes a baker's dozen for you, doesn't it, Tom?
I gotta go with Ditka.
The Bears.
Top Bears. That when they had Jordan. Michael Jordan was on there in the hula skirt.
Bulls.
Top Bears. Top Bulls. That shit. Oh my god. See, that's when Saturday Night Live was like, they were funny. They were just straight funny.
Those were the final golden years.
Yep. Yep. Hey, Keely Chow's in the chat. What's up, Keely Chow? Hail, sir.
Heyo.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh my god.
We're just kind of bebopping and scatting and riffing.
So who do you guys like? Who do you guys pick as your favorite sitcom dads?
Oh man.
Because I would say to be fair,
To be
like
fair,
to be fair, I would say we get the vote too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
who you guys picking?
Well, I'm. I think either I don't know. I'd have to do some soul searching. My instinct is Dan Connor, but that's just because I wanted him to be my dad when I was a kid. And I think he's a genuinely good dad too. Like he loved his kids. He put up with Roseanne's ass. He worked himself to the bone. But I don't know. It's one of those things where a dark horse like Red Foreman could win because even though Red's funny, he's an asshole. But you can tell he really loved Eric. He wanted Eric to be more like him. And throughout the course of the show, he finally comes to terms with him.
Mm-hmm.
So that last season though, where Topher Grace left, was kind of weird though.
Oh, yes, it was.
He ran off to Africa instead of marrying
Donna.
Donna.
Yep.
What the fuck? I never finished that show.
Yeah, the last season's really bad.
Ugh.
After he left, it was like what was it, like the 7th season of Scrubs? Never should have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how. After Topher Grace was that 70s show it was bad.
Ooh, there's a dark horse. Franchise History TV says Terry Crews from Everyone Hates Chris.
Oh, nice.
Shit.
Keely Chow had Uncle Phil and Carl Winslow. Carl Winslow's another good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Carl Winslow. Yeah, that's a good one. Or we're also forgetting fucking Bob Saget from Full House.
Yep.
Danny Tanner was a puss.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead, Sal.
I was gonna say that's what I feel like shows like that where it's too goody kind of thing. It's like, I don't think those are great dads, just because it's not believable.
Well, he was a good dad, but he was such a freaking baby. He's such a weenie tot. But then, like, you see, like, Bob Saget, and you're like,
Oh, his stand-up.
yeah, it's like Bob Saget's like the complete like opposite of Danny Tanner.
Mm-hmm.
I have one, but it doesn't really count as a sitcom. I don't think it does anyway. But I was thinking about it. It was Jock Ewing from Dallas.
Mm.
But that I don't really think that's a sitcom. That's more or less a primetime soap opera.
Yeah.
But I honestly I would say probably Phil Dunphy from Modern Family.
Are we going to Modern Family?
Wait, does that
Or
wait?
is
When
that past the cutoff?
is the cutoff 2000?
I think as long as a show started in the 90s, like if they started in the 90s, went into the 2000s, it's fine. But I think 2000 is kind of the cutoff.
Okay. Oh, God, I'm gonna have to go probably honestly then. I'm gonna go with Homer Simpson, man.
That's a good pick.
I grew up with the Simpsons, you know. And Homer is just that, yeah, so just that bumbling, you know. I don't know how he worked at a nuclear power plant. That was good. But I have Trey trained because I say it so much now to say "dough" every time he drops something.
Hell yeah.
It's fucking great because he does, like, he'll drop something in the living room and just be like "dough," and the wife looks at me. I'm like, he does it at school. His teacher said the one day, I was like, she's like, where did he pick that? Does he watch The Simpsons? I was like, well, that's kind of from me. Sorry. I was like, remember when I said you were getting a tiny 40-year-old? Yeah.
Is he still marching around saying Augustus?
He was doing that all day. Augustus. Oh God, it's I can't even do it. Augustus, I be the river of chocolate. Oh, oh God, diabetes. He says that now too because he hears me do the Wilford Brimley thing. Because I was messing with my dad because my dad's got the sugar, so I was messing with him about it. And Trey says, "What's the sugar?" I'm like, "It's the Beatus, son. It's the Beatus." He goes, "I don't want the Beatus." I'm like, "You can't eat that much candy, buddy." That's what I tell him every time because he gets like those little Sour Patch Kids as a treat, and I tell him, I was like, "You can't have too many. You'll get the sugar."
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "What's that?" I'm like, "The Beatus. You don't want the Beatus." I said, "Then we'll chop your foot off."
Does he say Beatus now?
He says Beatus.
Oh my God.
He went up to my dad the one day and he was like, "Dad says," he says, "Grandpa," he's like, "What's up, Trey?" He goes, "Dad said you got the Beatus." Dad fucking looks at me. He goes, "What?"
You fucking snitch.
He said, "You got the beatus." My dad's like, "Yeah, I have diabetes." And Trey's like, "Yeah, the beatus." He's like,
You died me out.
He did. It was so fucking funny. It was looking hilarious.
Oh my god.
My fucking dad, he was laughing. Oh, my mom got a kick out of that shit, dude. Yep, Trey. Straight from the mouths of children. They say that kids say the damnedest things. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Are we counting Bill Cosby from the Cosby Show?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would say yeah.
Yeah, man.
'Cause, I mean, despite the events that occurred, I think he was a great dad.
He was. He absolutely was, man.
And that's
When he
another
wasn't-
thing.
When he wasn't drugging the cast, he was a great dad to them.
But that's another thing. I want to try and separate, like, anything that the actors may have done doesn't factor into their TV persona.
Yeah.
So, but someone we haven't thought about is we haven't considered Hank Hill yet.
Oh,
Oh,
damn it.
God.
Oh, boy, Hank Hill was a good dad. Bobby, it's 7:30 in the morning already. That boy ain't right.
I sound suspiciously like Will Anderson.
Yeah. Well, he's my distant cousin. You know, he's a veteran of 2 foreign wars.
You boys keep whacking off of my shit.
Ain't you the damned kids that have been whacking in my tool shed? Next time I catch you little bastards in there, I'm going to hog tie you. God damn it. Bork, you ended a sentence with a preposition. Never end a sentence with a preposition. God damn it, you're a federal agent.
Hell yeah.
I love that. We watched that on the way down to football camp my senior year in high school. My coach took like 6 of us. There was like, the whole team went, but we were riding in his van and he had a VCR and TV in it like my parents did. And we were sitting there watching the Beavis and Butthead Do America movie. We watched that bitch on the way to Flint like twice, I think. And he took the damn tape away from us because every time we got in there, we were watching it. So he fucking took the tape away until we got home. He gave it back to me. He goes, I can't ever watch this movie again. Because I was friends with his son and we watch that shit all the time. Oh, yeah. He was like, no more. I can't take it. He had enough of the Anderson voice. So I've been doing that shit since I was in high school.
So we can't do TV shows from 2000.
From what? Are we going from 1980 to 2000, or are we going the 70s too?
I would think it.
I would say no. We'll go. Sorry, go ahead.
So we'll say like if it started into the 70s and went into the 80s, that's
Okay.
fine. Like I know there's gonna be some wiggle room. Like maybe 2000 is too hard of a cutoff, but I'm trying to avoid things like I don't know, like the modern sitcoms.
Yeah.
Just because they're still ongoing or whatever. Like, but if people want to add them on there, then I guess they add them on there. That's up to them. I'm just trying to not cast such a wide net because there's been untold numbers of sitcoms.
Oh yeah.
Like there's been like even though I love the show like the PJs,
Oh God, yes, dude.
like but I suppose we could do that. Like I mean, we're also forgetting Peter Griffin and
I hadn't brought him. I hadn't brought him up yet.
and Cleveland Brown.
Oh well, look, I'm very, very honored to be on the list among these fine gentlemen, all of which who are, well, nobody's as good as me, you bastards. Look, I've raised not one but 2 families.
Well, hey, Cleveland. I'm a pretty good dad. I got my boy. He's in the army.
Joe, you blacked out drunk and beat your son to death with a water hose in the backyard.
No. That wasn't the garden hose. It was my legs.
Joe, you sick bastard.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
No wonder Bonnie slept with me. I mean, no wonder Glenn Quagmire slept with your wife, Bonnie.
I thought that was Brian.
No, look. Well, we pulled a train on her, but that's neither here nor there. Now, why don't you roll your ass over there and get me something to drink while I put my feet up on your sofa? The Joe cry is probably like the most deafening sound in
Oh, I can't even do it. It's bad.
it's so loud. Like I would do it, but it's so fucking loud. I don't want to wake my kid up. He's in the room next to me. But yeah, dude, when he starts crying when they're at the clam in that booth and they all like slowly like slide out from under the table.
Peter like records one time on his phone. He's like, "This is gonna be my ringtone."
Oh my god. Why don't we do what that one girl does, and we can just we can record ourselves watching the episodes and just flip them backwards and kind of drop the transparency a little bit, and we can just watch them behind a paywall, and people will pay us to watch Family Guy with them.
That'd be dope. That'd be dope. I'm down for that.
Seriously, I would. You guys want to pay us to watch Family Guy and do commentaries? We'll do
Favorite
that.
show. I'm down. Does
All right.
Quagmire count as a TV dad? Because he's got like a shit ton of kids he doesn't know.
I've got kids everywhere.
I guess I don't think he'd be the best, but
No.
I mean, fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. Whatever sitcom dad you can think of, fuck it.
You know,
I wanted to add Frank Reynolds, but that show's still going on, and it started in 2005. So when it happened,
What show?
It's Always Sunny.
Oh, okay, all right.
Danny DeVito.
I'm not that familiar with. Like I said, I only watched like a season or two. I'm not that familiar with it. I mean, I know Danny DeVito's on there, but
it's a great show. It's hilarious.
He's such a shitty dad, but it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He lets you do whatever you want.
Yeah, the reason for the trying not to cast such a wide net is I was trying not to spread the votes around too thin.
Yeah,
we'll end up with like 80 dads that all have one vote, and it's like, who the fuck do we eliminate, kind of thing.
Yeah, let's keep it in like if they like 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. If it like runs into the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll say like 1975 to 2005 or something.
That works.
You know who there's two people that I was thinking, well, three actually, and they're all from the 70s though, is Archie Bunker, George Jefferson, and James from Good Times, John Amos, because all three of those shows I used to watch in reruns.
Uncle Jesse?
Uncle Jesse. Well, they had didn't
John Stamos.
Yeah, didn't John Stamos have didn't him and Lori Loughlin have a kid on Full House?
Yeah, they had kids.
I don't remember.
He was a good dad. He's a better dad than Danny Tanner.
Yeah. Did you know that what's her name? Jodie Sweetin that played Stephanie was addicted to meth for a while?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, dude.
That was crazy. And she was married to a cop while she was
it.
addicted to meth. It's like, oof.
Dude, she's a freaking...
He knows where to get all the best shit.
Oh, dude, trust me. We busted this cop's wife, me and my partner, shoplifting from one of the stores I was doing LP in. She was a state trooper's wife.
Hell yeah.
What?
Yeah, dude, she was stealing vitamins and shit. We had to call we couldn't call it because normally we would call like the staties or the county come in. We called the township boys to come in on this one. We called the township. They come down and picked us. She was pissed. You know who I am? Like, yep, I know who you are. I know who you are.
I'm the vitamin thief.
Yeah, you're fucking stealing. You're stealing a $5 thing of vitamins, and your husband's knocking off probably fucking 50, 60K a year. Give me a fucking break, lady.
We couldn't have at least gotten Flintstone vitamins. What the fuck, honey?
I know, man. You're stealing fucking, what are them expensive ass gummy vitamins? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking. I can't think of the name of them offhand.
The white lady vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, white lady.
The Karen vitamins.
Mm-hmm. That's like my. So, I'm a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to chicky nuggies, and so I'm a big fan of just like Tyson or the Dino Nuggies, like just the generic buy a 4-pound bag for $5 kind of guy.
Yep.
And I ran out, and my old lady comes over, and she brought me another bag, and it's like these like all white meat, 100% organic, free range, blah blah blah. I'm like, why'd you buy me the white lady nuggies? And she's like, what? And I was like, I feel like if I eat these, I'm gonna grow a fucking A-line haircut and start like belittling people and saying I'm not racist, but and then want to talk to the managers.
I'm not racist, but
yeah. Oh God.
Which she got a big kick out of.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure she was laughing.
Yeah. To preface that joke, for those that don't know, she's definitely not white.
What are you trying to say over there?
I'm trying to say that.
Are you dating my daughter Roberta?
I wish.
Roberta's
I'm not
thick.
one of those guys that's going to talk about, like, oh, cartoons are hot, but Roberta, man.
Roberta's thick.
Yeah. I understand that the cartoon character's, what, like a senior in high school or something?
Yeah.
To be fair,
To be
uh,
fair.
that show came out in what, 2010?
12?
12?
Yeah,
Maybe.
2000. I think it's 2000.
11?
I'll look
Something
it
like
up.
that. It ran for. He got 5 seasons, and then it got canceled.
Yeah, I think I think it came out in
2009. Holy
2010,
shit.
2009.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
damn.
I was, a younger man then. So it's
I
just
was.
like
I was fucking 29.
it's like fucking. And for those that don't know, myself and Pete will be doing a 10th anniversary for the final season of Lost.
Yep.
And we're going to be making a joint video on that, which I was going to talk about Alex, Ben's daughter,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
what a smoke show she was.
Oh yeah.
And so there was her and Hermione Granger from Harry Potter, who I always had a crush on.
Yup.
My girlfriend at the time, because Lost had just ended 2 years before that, and the Harry Potter movies I think had just ended as well. I don't remember. I'd mentioned how hot I thought they were. She called me a word that begins with a P and ends with edophile, and she was laughing and making fun of me. I was like, "You realize that like Alex and Hermione are both my age, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm the same age as Emma Watson,
Yep.
and I can't remember Alex's actress's name. Like actually, Alex I think is a year older than me, and I was like, and they're both older than you, so let's calm down here."
Well, I got good news for you, Sal. If you look at the girl that does the voice of Roberta,
Hmm.
yep.
Hell yeah. Well, boys, I gotta go get down to the old K Jewelers real quick. She's my future ex-wife and doesn't even know it yet.
Do you know you? Let me pull up a picture real quick of you.
Oh damn. Holy shit.
Did you look
That's-
that up?
Yes, I did.
There you go. Told you.
How you doing? God damn, girl, you fine as a motherfucker. Come here. Let Cleveland holler at you.
I know that the Step family member is very popular on the hubs, but calm down, Cleveland.
Look, man, I gotta get mine when I can. Donna wears a fucking wig. Even Franchise History TV said Roberta thick.
Bro, like that's insane.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, wow. Reagan Gomez Preston. Wow. Yeah.
Not gonna lie, like Lois is pretty hot, but God, I hate that voice.
Oh God, that's like nails in a fucking chalkboard, dude.
Peter.
Oh, oh. It's like that one, the one girl on Seinfeld that Jerry was dating, and she broke up with him because she caught him saying that her laugh sounded like Elmer Fudd sitting on a juicer,
Hell yeah.
and she ended up coming up to Susan's dad's cabin with Kramer, and they burned it fucking down with the Cuban cigars that he gave to George, and George gave to Kramer.
Hell yeah. So Keely Chow is asking to see her. I don't know if you can screen share her or not.
Do it.
I'll screen share it. Hold on. Cleveland show. Yeah,
This is for research purposes.
pretty wild though. Like
For legal reasons, this is for
Yep.
research.
Yes.
it's pretty wild that Cleveland Brown's played by a white guy, and then Cleveland Brown Jr., the kid's played by a black guy.
Yeah.
God, what's his name? Daryl from The Office. Isn't he Soul Train?
I don't know. It's
Or not
what's his-
Soul Train, Freight Train.
LeVar. Yeah,
is
Freight
he?
Train. Yeah, LeVar Freight Train Brown.
Is that Craig Robinson?
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay.
that's awesome, dude. I freaking love Craig Robinson.
He's fucking funny, dude. Like every movie he's in, even like them little ancillary roles like he had in Knocked Up, which Knocked Up was like that hasn't aged well at all.
Mhm.
But he's still funny in it. And what's the other one? Pineapple Express.
Oh,
He
yeah.
is goddamn hilarious with that skinny ass white dude that was on the show with what's her name? Is Donnell Logue was the dad, and the mom Megan something.
Yeah. Oh, is
It's
that
her.
her?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her right there. Shwing! Little Wayne's World.
Swing.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Yeah, dude.
I know exactly what show you're fucking talking about, and I can't think of it because it's him, his wife, their daughter, and their
Here
two
you go, Sal.
sons.
Yep. God. Fucking stop, man.
Wife her up.
Yep. She's right there. She's right there with me with Serena Williams. And Serena Williams already likes white dudes, so I'm fucking.
You're in.
Franchise says she's your age, Pete. Oh, shit. Yeah, man. Hey, look,
insert
man.
insert that meme of the guy behind the tree in the yellow suit.
that's hang on. I'll do it right. This me right now. Just
Holy
God damn
shit.
it. The edibles kicked in, ladies and gentlemen.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Serena Williams is though. Like I've been in love with her for fucking years. Like, just I know, but when she had that thing when she threw her goddamn racket and was causing, I'm like, just leave Serena alone. Leave my girl alone.
Leave Serena alone.
Serena can throw a fucking racket. She can throw a person. You see the size of that girl's arms?
Mm-hmm.
I'm fucking yeah.
She looks like
Yeah.
she could throw a semi truck.
I'm all right with that. I like that. I like that. Yes, Keely Chow says, speaking of birthdays, yesterday was Sarah Michelle Gellar's birthday. Yep.
Yeah, it's true.
And she is the hell with her little punk ass husband, but I like her. I like Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah.
Freddie Bro Jr.
Hell yeah.
Can't stand him.
He's a tool. He truly is, dude.
Dude, bro.
Dude, he is like the epitome of like a dude, bro. Would that make him like a Chad? Is he a Chad?
No,
I think so.
he's one of those guys that still wears like bedazzled fucking sweatshirts and shit.
Grounded for life.
Yes, Grounded for Life. Thank you, dude. That show was so underrated.
It was. And it came out in 2001, so technically it qualifies.
It's is it her dad that lives with them on there, the old guy? I can't remember his name on there, but my dad's best friend looks like him. Like exactly like him. This guy's a retired state trooper. He was my recruiter when I was going in the state police. He was which I did not make, obviously, but no, he was he looks exactly like him. I was like, holy shit, dude. Because he was in one of the Rob Zombie Halloween movies too. He got killed.
Yeah, Richard Rayleigh.
Richard Rayleigh, yep. He got killed in the guard booth.
He's the jump to conclusion guy in Office Space.
Yes, that's his. He was Smokowski. That's his. Yep, he was Tom Smokowski. Got backed out of his driveway and got hit by that drunk driver.
I heard he put a road flare up your bunghole. What? Oh.
We're only doing this because we were at that Buffalo Bob guy. So don't flap your bunghole. What? Nothing happened. Oh God, that's another fucking great fucking movie right there. Underrated is Joe Dirt.
Oh, absolutely.
And it has Brittany Daniel and Jamie Presley in it. So I think we can all just take a moment to appreciate that.
And Kid Rock.
And Kid Rock, yes.
You want to play a bumper pull?
I want to say he was probably playing himself in that movie more than anything else.
I think so.
I really think he was. That was just like that was him as like a teenager, basically. Like, but you see, he grew up. Everybody's like, oh, he always talks about Detroit. He grew up on like 35 Mile, which is like about 40 with given the traffic down there, which I'm very familiar with. It's about 45 minutes north of Detroit. Okay.
Damn.
It's in Romeo is a very, very nice area. Like I had one of my best friends in high school, her cousin, who I got to know very well, lives down there, and his dad worked for the Big Three. I mean, was a big timer setting up assembly lines in the factory to the Big Three. And I've been to their house many times, and Kid Rock grew up not far from him, like a couple miles away. And yeah, there's no like bad houses out there.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't really grow up that poor, I don't think.
Nah, but that's another. I don't understand. It seems like because he's not the only one. I know some people personally, and know some people online that are from like the greater Michigan area that seem to be obsessed with Southern cultures.
Yeah.
Like it's all about like country music and dirt roads and
Oh my God.
moonshine and shit. And I'm like, I'm not saying you don't have that there, but it's a lot more prevalent where I grew up, and
And
I don't understand the attraction. Maybe it's like the kind of the exoticness of it or something. I don't know.
well,
I think it's just the simpleness of it.
I can speak. See, I grew up in the country. I grew up in a town of about 100 people. All right,
Hmm.
there's literally more cows than there's people. There was nothing but about 100 acres of hayfield across my house, and 40 acres of hayfield out behind my parents' house. And yeah, I mean it was like I grew up on a dirt road, and there's tractors there. I don't really have I'm allergic to hay. Okay.
Mm.
I can't. I'm a country. I grew up in the country, but I'm not exactly what you would call a country boy at all.
So I
Now,
guess you'd be
Hmm.
alert. So I guess you wouldn't be gay then.
no.
Hey.
Oh no. No,
What's
man, but
his name's Bruce, right?
uh
Yeah.
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 Oh no, that
Nah,
little
I'll
Griffin
put.
boy's gone missing.
My favorite part with him, not to cut you off,
No, you're
Pete,
fine.
but my favorite part with him is when he's in the grocery store and it's 15 items or less. He's like,
Yep.
oh no, I better put something back. No,
Yes, he's
seriously.
trying to decide what to put back.
And he's like, no, it's fine, sir. He's like, no, 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 rules are rules. I guess I'll put the meat back. I'll go support the local butcher down the road.
I don't need the soda, but it's so good. But no, what I was just gonna say was I'm from the country, but I'm not exactly what you would call like a country boy. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with the outdoors and everything, just not hay. I grew up with a lot of allergies, but no, man, it was I never understood that, dude, because like I've never been like a huge country music fan at all. Like
Mm-hmm.
I listen to pretty much everything, but I've never once been like, yeah, country. No, I'm just not. I don't like it. I mean, some of it, like I said, I've saw Garth Brooks in concert, but Garth Brooks is kind of one of those transcendent,
Mm-hmm.
past the genre lines of music.
Right.
He's just a great artist to me.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't. I mean, I think they just it's the now the country thing, like I don't know, like I said, I've dated cowgirls that own farms and horse farms and shit like that. I had a pair of riding boots, but yeah, I never really was like that. I never really identified with that. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I'm more like I like my rock and like besides, I like everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. But
You can identify as anything you want, Pete.
the whole southern thing, like with the Confederate flags and all that shit, like I saw a lot of that growing up. And I
Oh, you
mean,
should come to Florida.
Oh, I'm sure, dude. But where I live now, it's like there's very it's fringe, but there's still quite a few of them. And I'm like, I just don't understand. I'm like, we live so far up north, like you don't understand. I'm like, well, I fucking don't understand. I mean, I trust me, explain it to me, and help me understand why you seem to, cling to that. It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
No.
it's like growing up where I grew up, I feel like because I saw the Confederate flag a lot,
Hmm.
and where like whole windshield's taken up by, and I was like, we fought for the North, right?
Yeah.
Like our whole okay, whatever, you do you, boo boo.
Yep.
And I feel like a lot of the people that cling to that whole like country style, like Western or not even Western, but like the Southern country kind of stuff,
Yeah.
are people who didn't grow up in it. Like the guys I knew that grew up out in the sticks, like we were all into like heavy metal and shit like that.
Yep.
Like our garages, that's where we held practice and shit. Like
Yeah.
we shot guns and stuff, but it was never like, oh yeah, this song about this dirt road leading up to the house and the dog. It's like you
Yeah.
live it,
Exactly.
so it's like okay, I don't know.
Yep.
Just an observation I made.
I'm right there with you. I mean, down here, it's like, so growing up here, a lot of times what I would see, and the little league that I played in was in a little town called Mims,
Mm-hmm.
and it's fucking redneck central. So it's a lot of dads wearing jean shorts that try to coach their kids with baseball because they know what they're doing. They played little league one year, so they know. So
Right.
so they know everything apparently. And the big country thing here, it's like, oh, you ain't a redneck unless you have a huge lifted truck and you wear boots and jeans. But instead of country music, I want to play rap music. And then instead of like a nice flannel, I'm going to wear a fucking DC or a
Gucci.
Monster Energy shirt. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
what?
It's like
I'm
one of my
confused.
roommates in college. So this is a long story, but I think it's funny. I think it's worth it. So we lived in what was called a suite, which is where you have like basically a small bedroom and you're connected to a common area where you have
Yep.
like
Yeah.
your bathroom and your shower and shit.
Hmm.
And so we all shared this suite. It was me and three other guys, and one of them he grew up in a like 2 counties north of where the college was, which it's not a large county. It doesn't have a major metropolis or anything like that necessarily. But he dressed like he was a country western star, like wore the cowboy hat everywhere he went, wore cowboy boots everywhere he went, drove
Joe
a big
Exotic?
ass, yeah, drove a big ass lifted truck and everything. And he always talked about working on his dad's or his working on the ranch, quote unquote. Well, his grandfather did own a ranch. He sold Black Angus cows,
Okay.
which is fine. But the thing he didn't factor in is that his little brother was in the same department that I was in, majoring in the same thing I was majoring in. And so all the time, all he ever talked about was like he'd always, oh, so how's my brother doing? Which is weird because his brother lived on campus, but the guy I lived with lived on campus, but his brother didn't. So I don't know what was up with that. But I'm like, oh yeah, he's all right. He was fucking knocking dirt off his boots earlier. He's like, I don't understand why he does that. And I'm like, well, doesn't your grandpa own a ranch? He's like, yeah, we've been there twice. He's like he showed me where they grew up. They grew up in like this little cul-de-sac and shit. He's like, I don't know what his obsession is, blah blah blah. But so he all he ever talked about was working on a ranch and all this shit. But he had the blue jeans from American Eagle that were like strategically ripped and all that kind of shit, and would
Oh
wear like his
man.
really nice button-up flannels. And his cowboy hat was like pristine white and everything. So it's like he clearly never works on the
Yeah.
farm. He just
Yeah.
wants to
No.
dress the part. And it was just funny. So I got in the habit of instead of calling him by his name, I'd call him Brokeback. And
Jesus.
so I'm like, "What's up, Brokeback?" He's like, "That's not funny, man. Don't call me that." We came to blows a couple of times, but he has that osteogenesis imperfecta or whatever, that bone disease. So he has like a mild form of it. Like he broke his arm like 8 times growing up or some shit like that.
Oof.
What the
So
fuck?
Mr. Glass.
yeah, so I couldn't wrestle him too hard, which lended credence to the fact that he never worked on the ranch because he'd just break himself. But there was one day where it was like a weekend where he had like 3 or 4 girls from his high school come stay or some shit like that, thinking he was going to get some. And the guy had no game at all, like none. He was not the Don Juan he thought he was. So he would like talk to girls on the phone because this is back when he would have a phone call with a girl, and but he would do that while he was playing like Gears of War or Halo or some shit, and he would try to be talking smooth to her, and he said, and I quote, "It's the something he said, it's the hotness that attracts you to you." Quote. And I looked at him. I was like,
What?
Brokeback, I don't think that's how words work, buddy. And all I heard was her start laughing on her end of the phone. And so they show up, which is no big deal. I was busy that weekend anyway with band and all that shit. And so I walk out to go to band practice, and he's there like full decked out, and his like he brought out like the extra cowboy shit to wear, like he put spurs on and shit, like just went he dialed that shit up to 11. And I
Oh
was like, "Hey, I
God.
know you," and he was like he knew it was coming. I was like, "Hey, I know you. You're from that Brokeback movie, right? Brokeback Mountain 2, Back in the Saddle. That's you." And they did not stop calling him Brokeback for the rest of the weekend.
Oh
Like I
my
just
god.
crushed all those hopes and dreams that he had of ever sleeping with any of them. It was beautiful.
Well,
That's amazing.
that's fucking great. That'll teach you to be a poser.
We had a lot of guys in my high school that you couldn't tell if they wanted to be Garth Brooks or Rob Dyrdek, and it was very confusing
Mm-hmm.
because they'd wear boots and jeans, but they'd also wear like the snapback with the fucking Monster T-shirt. But then they'd be blasting Lil Wayne in their lifted truck. They had cool little lights at the bottom of it, and you're like,
Oh
what?
yeah. No, this guy thought that. So he had one of those old school like double wide fucking pickup trucks. I'm talking from like probably the late 70s going into the 80s, like those giganto trucks. And
Mm-hmm.
he that was his pride and joy. Even though he had to like jump start it every time he started it, he had to like do crazy shit just to get it to park. Like half the windows didn't work and shit. And all the time he would talk about how driving fast would turn girls on, and there was a little roundabout that led up to the parking area for where you would park for the dorms, and he would quote unquote drift around that. And he was like I was in the back of the truck once when he did it, and he was like, "Whoa, you feel that drift?" I was like, "Nah, I felt your fishtail though," because he thought fishtailing was drifting.
Oh God,
So yeah, that fucking kid.
Jesus, dude. Let's see. I'm trying to see because like everybody up here is like obsessed with the fucking lifted truck thing too, man. Like I've had what I'm on my fourth pickup now,
Hmm.
and I don't lift my trucks. I don't. I don't need. I know how big my dick is. I don't need to lift my truck. I'm sorry. It's. If I buy something, like I mean, would I like to put like the one I have now? Would I like to put a little bit put some a leveler on it, just to give it a little more aggressive stance to it, not lift it,
Hmm.
put a little bit bigger tires on. Not really, because that's just too expensive. And an everyday driver like that, dude, you're talking $2,000 worth of tires and all that bullshit.
Hmm.
That to me, it's like I would much rather spend. I'm leasing the vehicle. In 3 years, it's gone. So I don't put any extras like this one. I'm going to tint the windows and I'm going to get some headlight and taillight covers, which will work on my next truck probably, unless they
Hmm.
change the body styles drastically. So that's all I do to it. I'm not. I can't. I don't understand that. Like one of my buddies was like, yeah, he's got this big lifted GMC. It's like about 10 years old. Decent. I mean, it's a nice looking truck. I
Hmm.
mean, I'm not into that sort of thing, but I do our shop that the dealership I used to work at. We did customs and we did some lift. I sold a couple of those big fucking lifted, like what are they? It's called a Black Widow
Hmm.
edition. We had it like customized down in Alabama, and they fucking trailered it all the way back up to us. But they're fun. I mean, to drive one, every now and then, it's fun, but I just like I could not be that guy driving one of those every day. It's just like, nah, man, like I'm secure enough. I don't need, I don't need to overcompensate with the lift on a truck, man. I just can't do it. Yeah, these, and then you got to have the exhaust, right? So you got to have an exhaust, you got to have a lift, the light bar and the push bar in the front, and what they call it, the cow catcher
Hmm.
on the front. You got to have one of those, you know. Then you got to have a gun rack on your gun rack in the back window. So I don't know.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a gun rack on a gun rack. Only more
Nah.
I
American
don't
thing
even
to
own.
have is a gun rack in your truck. Am I right?
I don't even own a gun, let alone many guns that would necessitate an entire rack.
Have you guys ever seen the movie The Campaign?
Oh
I
yeah.
have I have not. I have not seen
Oh,
that in
Pete,
there.
you'd love that movie. It's
That's what was
hilarious.
it?
That's right up your alley,
Zach
Pete.
Galifianakis and Will
Will
Ferrell, isn't
Ferrell.
it?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't check that one out.
Oh, it's 100% worth it.
It's like
I put a firefly up my butt. I wanted to see if it make my farts glow.
I had a goat lick my wiener.
The old biker lady down the street let me touch her tit. Oh god, that whole movie's hilarious.
The wife, what did she say? She's like, I sometimes touch myself to some
Drew Carey
actor.
on The Price is Right.
Yeah.
Oh God.
That movie is like you get a kick out of Will Ferrell in that movie because he's such a piece of shit. But you see
Hmm.
Zach Galifianakis in that movie, and it is like he's basically Bruce from Family Guy. Oh,
Oh,
now you say that?
Yeah. So, like, if you remember Pete, back in like 2004, 2005, no, it was like 2007, I think, when Will Ferrell did that whole special stand up as George Bush.
yes.
Yeah, because he was doing that on Saturday Night Live. That's basically who he is in the campaign. Like he does that. He does that version of himself.
Damn, dude, that'd be good. I
Yeah,
need to watch that.
it's really funny.
I need to watch that. That's gonna be on my list of movies to watch.
It's so good, but like they get Zach Galifianakis into the race, into the political race, and then the guy comes over to his house and he's like, "All right, we're gonna redo this shithole," and he basically like Zach Galifianakis looks like he lives in a little house that was like on the set of the Cosby Show. Like it's just fucking terrible. So they like start adding shit. They add this like bald eagle picture right above the fireplace, and they like add a gun rack, and they start putting like loading it with shotguns. You're like, what the fuck? Like,
Jesus.
Like, oh, those guns, we don't need those or something. We have kids. It's like, oh god.
Is that the one where Will Ferrell punches a baby? I just remember
Yes.
that from the preview. Okay.
He annihilates that baby. Like,
Yeah, I remember that from the preview.
dude, he gets like a running fucking start and just punches as hard as he could. Like he's trying to use that punching bag game to see how high the number can get.
Yeah.
And dude, he like hits the fuck out of this baby. Everyone hates him.
Oh God. Yeah, I really want to see this now. I really want to see that now. I'm gonna have to watch that, damn it. I miss the video store being open by my house. I really do. But
Just
honestly,
having a video store. That's not Walmart.
oh dude, like I said, I have that family video that's like a block away from my house. Like me and the boy, we walked there a couple times last summer. It's so nice, and like I'm fucking spoiled now because it's like I have like the smart TV, so I have access to like everything now on there. So I'm like, oh my God. And I'm feeling like I'm going through a crisis because I can't remember the Netflix login because it's not my account. And now I have to re-log in on the TV, and I can't text my mom right now because she's probably sleeping in a hospital bed. So like, hey mom, what's your login for your next? Yeah, I'm that guy in the account. I'm like the sixth man.
Hell yeah.
Actually, no, my sister's ex is still on the account, so he's
Goddamn.
yeah, dude. But I guess it's like because he's her baby daddy, so it's kind of all right though because like he watches stuff on there with the kid. So
Gotcha.
I mean, it's kind of fucking weird. I was like, yeah. I was like, Allie, can we take your baby daddy off the Netflix account?
Yeah. Oh, that was like an hour-long segue.
Jesus, it was. That was like the old days back on my show.
Hell yeah. It was fun, though.
It was. That was a fun fucking just. Let's just talk about whatever whatever happens.
We need that. We need that kind of like
Absolutely, man.
randomness.
It's just like it's a conversation that there happens to be people listening to.
Hell yeah. So
It's fun when the chat gets involved too.
Yeah.
It is. So, Pete.
Yes.
Kind of bring us on back. Well, what you got for us?
All right. First, I did a video on Batgirl, and I just want to bring this up real quick. I don't want to talk about Batgirl really because I'm gonna save that for Monday night. But they are the movie rumors. They don't have anybody in. They've listed for the role of Barbara Gordon, Batgirl yet. I was thinking Anna Kendrick, or I saw somebody in the thumbnail of my video was Karen Gillian in a Batgirl outfit, and oh my, I'm sorry, that woman's a goddess. She's so fucking beautiful, and she's a badass too. That was the thing, like, dude, the two Jumanji movies, she fucking kicked ass. Okay, she looked like
Nebula.
Yeah, that was my next one. She slayed it in Endgame, dude. Probably single-handedly the best part of Endgame was her as Nebula. She had 41 minutes of screen time. Okay, only bested by Robert Downey Jr. and Captain America, fucking Chris Evans, I think. She killed it, like absolutely. And I would really like to see, because this Guardians of the Galaxy movie is going to be the last one they do with this team up. So if they're going to replace people, I would really like to see her be featured in a solo role, and Batgirl would be I think a good vehicle for her. Now you brought up Anna Kendrick, another one. I've heard her rumored, and trust me, I don't like this character at all, but I've heard rumors of her being cast if they ever did a movie, possibly like kind of like they have with John Krasinski as Reed Richards as Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, I've heard that for a few years now.
Yep,
That needs to not be a thing.
it does need not to be a thing because
it will be.
It will be. Why not? They're making Miss Marvel into a TV show.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, if it was Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel, I'd be on board.
Yes, dude. When Carol Danvers was Miss Marvel, she looked like a woman. That dude, I'm hard pressed to say she was hot. Like that comic, in the comic, she was drawn fucking just, she was hot. Like, yeah. Franchise history says Karen Gillan can get it. Yup. Yeah, she definitely is given the showing how hot ginger girls can be, man. She is just wow. Yep.
And she shaved her head to be Nebula. That wasn't like a skull cap.
No,
she shaved her head.
and she still look good with a shaved head.
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen two women like that, her and Demi Moore.
Sinead O'Connor.
I never found her particularly attractive.
Britney Spears.
Yeah, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Britney Spears could still get it with a shaved head. Crazy Britney, yeah, yep. It's just that body though. She had a banging body.
She's crazy, bitch.
That's fine, man. I seem to have issues with that, but anyway. Okay, so I've got some Star Wars for us tonight.
Wah, wah.
Do we want to talk about Dave? We'll start with Dave Filoni.
All right.
We'll start
Cowboy
with
Dave.
Yep, Cowboy Dave. Now, normally when you hear Dave Filoni's name brought up with Star Wars, I'm gonna do a screen share of this. It's a rather short article, but I think it'll facilitate a good discussion. Let's see, right there,
Okay.
and there we go, and
Loading.
it's
Loading. Manscaped. Oh, shit.
God, fucking ads, man. I don't have ad blockers.
Hey, Manscaped, if you guys want to sponsor our show, we're more than welcome to have a sponsor. I'm more than willing to try that out as well.
Oh, here it is right here. Okay. So, why Star Wars fans have lost all faith in Lucasfilm's Dave Filoni. This is really like very disheartening because Dave Filoni was one of the people who I really, was like, this guy could kind of bring Star Wars back.
Mm-hmm.
He's in that vein with Favreau, because of The Mandalorian, they got a lot of good faith from us, after what we've been, given from Disney. So this says the publication Art of the Rise of Skywalker by Phil Zostak has confirmed. The only reason I know how to pronounce that is I went to school with a kid with that same last name. Confirmed that no one at Lucasfilm knows what the hell they're doing without strong guiding hand of George Lucas. So if you think Filoni is your savior, guess again. A reader posted a scan from the book, which had the following text in it. In The Art of the Rise of Skywalker, Phil Zostak wrote, Lucasfilm executive creator Doug Shang wondered, since these three films are a female-driven story, where's Leia in episode 8 and 9? So it was known right from the start that the story in the Disney trilogy wasn't going to be driven by the wars and the stars, but the female genitalia instead. In the same book, Dave Filoni is quoted as saying, there's a potential idea there about the matriarchy coming back and subverting what has always been dominantly patriarchal in the male heroes, Zeus, Hercules, and everything else. John Null says, the super intriguing set up an empire. That boy is our only hope. No, there is another. No, there's another. I have to read it in that voice. I can't help it. I felt cheated in the Jedi that this really didn't go anywhere. But maybe Yoda is really talking about what happens with Leia in 30 years in the future.
No.
To which Dave Filoni replies, I love that. We should shift it so Leia is the Obi-Wan of the entire trilogy. It's dangerous because it makes it so about the women of Star Wars. Something to me says that's right. There is something happening culturally. You look at birth, regeneration, the world itself needing healing. All of those things are emblematic of the mother character in the myth. They are all matriarchal things. Mother Earth itself, global warming is a hot topic. I guess all that talk about genders in the galaxy needing to be perfectly 50-50 was a bunch of crap, just as we always knew it was. So guess what the rest of season 7 of the Clone Wars is probably going to be like. When Filoni has said rewritten to be better, he meant it. Here's where the image from that text comes, and here's the whole text right here. And you can see this name right here, our stubby little friend Pablo Hidalgo, who still has me blocked on Twitter for some reason.
Bitch?
Yeah. Along with Dan Slott and a couple other comic book idiots. But yeah, Dave Filoni here is, you can see this whole passage here between him, Null, and Pablo Hidalgo.
Let's read it.
Okay, so
make it out.
I can see it says Lucasfilm executive creator Doug Chang wondered, since these films are female-driven story, whereas Leia in episodes 8 and 9. As Luke Win, she should have the Force. Maybe she's the nurturing character who overcomes the final evil. Maybe that's the thing we are missing. Okay, this is Pablo Hidalgo.
Oh, wait, do you want to have somebody read one line, you read the other?
Yeah, yeah. Who wants to be
No,
Pablo?
I can't read that small.
Okay.
I'll be Pablo.
Okay, you be Pablo.
I don't even know what he sounds like, so I'm just going to
Just
talk
do a
normal.
soy voice. Just do a soy voice. It's Pablo Hidalgo.
I should do soy voice for that?
Yeah, yeah. It's Pablo. He's a bitch.
Okay, I don't even know what it sounds like, so I'm going on a limb here. I could imagine her being the one thing to break through to our villain.
And Dave Filoni. Oh, I love that. I love that. I look back down this table and we're presided over by Padme. And let's see, a Daniel Green oil painting of Padme Amidala, female lead of the Star Wars prequel trilogy, and Leia's mother. There's a powerful idea there about this matriarchy coming back and subverting what was always been dominantly patriarchal in the male heroes, Zeus, Hercules, and everything else. What happens with Kylo? And what does he do to his father is structurally not redeemable. It's a not redeemable act. There's no coming back from that the way he does it currently. But I've never seen the mother figure try to do it, and maybe she could. And then we're down to John Knoll.
The super intriguing setup in Empire. That that boy is our only hope. I'm trying to see how. Oh God. No, there was another. I felt cheated in Jedi. That this really didn't go anywhere. But maybe Yoda is really talking about what happens with Leia in 30 years in the future.
I love that. We should shift the entire thing so Leia is the Obi-Wan of this entire trilogy. I don't even think it's a hurt that she's not primarily the mentor figure in Seven because, like John had been saying, the audience expectation is so on Luke. And when that proves not to be true, it's way more powerful. It's dangerous because it makes it so about the women of Star Wars, something to me that's right. There's something happening culturally. You look at birth, regeneration, the world itself needing healing. All of these things are emblematic of the mother character in the myth. They're all matriarchal things. Mother Earth itself, global warming is a hot topic. George was always so good at tapping into what's happening in the culture, and he has hits with it. The idea that we have Leia, a mother character who needs healing in her own right, that's something we can get into in a deeper way. That is so difficult to read that small.
God, it's getting worse.
It's like the fucking crawl in Star Wars when it gets like up so high in the screen you can't see it. This is Kiri Hart.
Oh God. We should have like Siri read it. um, I couldn't survive one of this. What? Hold on. I couldn't survive one of the things that has happened to Leia. What causes someone to continue to be willing to battle when she has lost her planet? After after she discovers she has a brother, after he disappears, she never actually knew her parents, and now her something has gone away, and by the time episode 7 is over, she is widowed. She's a widow? Is that what it says?
She can't be a widow because her and Han split. So
Will he die? I don't know. That's fucking stupid. I know people in real life who has had all of these types of things happen, and they still keep going. So my question is always, how do you do this? Somehow we need to find the the richness of that character, which can be really powerful in just in terms of what she has to convey to key. I can't fucking read this shit. It's not about Jedi training. It's about life. It was tough to get through.
This is then the Goober Brothers Entertainment Players, ladies and gentlemen. Please be sure to
so
tip your waitress.
it sounds like that last girl has never had any type of struggle at all.
Yeah.
Like
No,
I know people that have gone through those things. It's like, okay, but what have you gone through? Sounds like nothing. So, mm-mm.
Is she? Curie Hart sucks, dude.
yeah, she has no idea what she is doing at all.
Well, nobody at Lucasfilm knows anymore.
I think she's one of the main ones on like the fucking the High Republic now.
Shocker. Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. It's like George had a good grasp of everything, and he controlled everything very well,
Yep.
and he was able to relay his message to different people, and they were able to understand it. And now he's gone. It's like that whole idea that George had just got thrown out the fucking window.
Yep.
It's
I'd
just
be
insane.
I'd be curious to know when, because it sounds like the way they're talking, like the way Filoni's answering these questions, it sounds like this interview was held like before episode 7. Like, I mean, they mentioned 8, but he doesn't mention episode numbers. All he
Yeah.
talks about is the original trilogy. So I feel like this is old news. Like this is an old kind of thing that they just put into the book because they didn't have anything to say.
I don't
Hmm.
know.
So that's I'd be curious because it's one of those things where like we've all said things in the past. It's like we wouldn't say that now or we disagree with things. I'm not trying to be an apologist for him or anything like that. Like
Hmm.
because if he said it recently, then sorry, Dave, you were the chosen one. You were meant to bring balance to the Star Wars, not destroy it.
Yeah.
Um,
That's already. Yeah. We already have enough of that going on.
yeah, but it's just I don't know. Kind of some of the dialogue there. It doesn't sound like they were in a round table. It sounds like those were like individual conversations that were just squished together. So I don't know. That whole passage doesn't seem kosher.
No, it doesn't.
No.
It's just so weird to me that we've we're how how far into the Star Wars thing are we from Disney?
Since
Uh,
2012, right?
yeah, 2015 was well
The
when
2015 was the first theatrical release they
yeah
had.
Rebels came out in 2014
I have no idea
2013.
when that premiered.
Yeah, maybe 2015. I don't remember, but yeah, they bought it in 2012,
Yeah, so
and
8
then
years into this thing,
yeah,
um, and we've only gone backwards. So that's telling people something. At least it's telling like the real fans. So the fact that they're making all of this shit about women, making about diversity, making about changing the structure essentially of Star Wars and basically eliminating the need of the saga movies. So
hmm
eliminating the need for any of the characters for 1 through 6. So
yeah, basically,
Yep.
so literally all the characters that fought the Empire, fought the Separatist army, who fucking cares? Everybody that fought against the Empire, fought against Palpatine, including Luke and Han and Leia and Chewie, who cares? Nothing they did changed anything. Like, who cares about Darth Vader? He didn't have really any significant role in the galaxy or in the universe at all because his sacrifice and his path, I mean, led to basically nothing. He's not the chosen one. He didn't do shit. So Palpatine won.
Yeah.
So
I just watched. Who was it? It was Mahler. I watched Mahler's review of episode 9,
isn't it
and
great?
oh, it's fucking. It is. It was really good. His reviews like that. Like I said, I still haven't made it all the way through the Last Jedi one. It's like 6 hours long. But God, dude, that and he hit all the notes on that. That movie was bad. It was bad, but as bad as it was, it still wasn't as bad as The Last Jedi, which was just like canon destroying garbage from a complete moron. So,
hmm
but yeah, episode 9, it was 3 movies. It was 3 movies that were shoveled into one, just bowl and all mixed together. And it's like, here you go. Here's episode 9. It's like, oof, this is bad. Like you've got, and not even that it was 3 movies. It was, you had what, 2 or 3 MacGuffins. I mean,
hmm
you have Ray Sky. I mean, Ray Palpatine. It's, you know, nobody, Yoda couldn't beat Palpatine, and Luke couldn't beat Palpatine, and Anakin couldn't beat Palpatine. But God damn it, Ray can.
yeah. You mean Iron Man?
Yeah, Iron Man. Yeah, I'm all the Sith. I'm all the Jedi. Okay, why don't you just snap your fingers then, Iron Ray?
Yeah.
Yeah, Leia didn't do anything in the sequel movies. She just, I mean,
Yeah.
just stood there and she had a couple panic attacks or she just passed out a couple times and then she
Yep.
just disappeared. It's like, what's happening? Like, she literally has no purpose at all in these movies. Like, she doesn't do anything at all. Like she could have been taken out of all the movies, and then it would make no difference. Like Rey was already powerful enough to take on everything, so
Yep.
she could have fucking. I mean, you really think Leia trained her how to block Force lightning? No,
Yeah.
like that's insane.
Okay, so Ray blocked that Force lightning and shot it back on Palpatine, and it blew him up. Why didn't it do that when Mace Windu was blocking him?
Oh, Mace Windu didn't have a second lightsaber. That was the trick.
Oh
Yeah, two sabers.
Yeah, he had two lightsabers. That he didn't have that. That was a problem. Jesus.
Yeah, it
Man.
makes it makes it like make way more sense. You know.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, if you just turn your brain off a little bit more, turn that
Yeah.
dial a little bit more to the right until it clicks, everything
Yeah.
will be fine.
Yeah, Star Killer could have done that to Palpatine in the video games, and it didn't blow him up. So, interesting.
I mean, Yoda stopped lightning with his hand.
Yep.
So
Yeah, he just reverbed it back at him.
Mm-hmm.
Just threw it back.
Well, he absorbed it at one point,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, okay, yeah, Ray, got it.
Yep. Well, she's all the Jedi.
She's all the Jedi, and Palpatine is apparently all the Sith, because that's a fucking thing. And
It's Ray's. I'm every Jedi. It's all in me. Anything you want done, baby, I'll do it Jedi naturally. Little Whitney.
well, you look like you're a Sith Lord with that red light behind you.
Good.
Tell me a
That's-
bedtime story.
Something dark side. something complete.
You know, the Jedi never told you this story.
Have you ever heard the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No.
It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. I fucking
Where
I
can
can't-
someone learn this power?
I want like Ian McDermott to narrate audiobooks in the Palpatine voice.
I just want him to do my voicemail.
I know. That's like that's a good one. Like if you could have anybody do your voicemail, your outback and your outgoing message, who would it be? Probably Ian McDermott as the Emperor.
It was
Ian Mc-
funny as shit. Like, I met the guy that did the voice for Squidward, and he was doing like voicemails for people. I was like, damn.
Nice. I would probably. Do you guys remember? I don't know if he's even still around. Michael Winslow
Yeah.
from Police Academy. I would have him do my voicemail, but I would have him do it in the style. Remember when he used to do Jimi Hendrix?
Mm-hmm.
He used to do Purple Haze. I would have him do it like that. So it would be like almost like incoherent, but if you knew it, you would know what it is. You know, I love Michael Winslow is fucking hilarious. Like in the Police Academy movies as a kid, oh my god, they used to kill me.
Mm-hmm. It's the sweeps, the beeps, and the creeps, sir.
Yep. Oh, I didn't. Did I tell you? So I watched Spaceballs with Trey. Right. I was kind of worried. He freaking loved it. Not only did he love it, he loved it so much he's watched it 3 times this week.
Oh my
Nice.
god.
He watched it without me like twice. Like while I was working on my video, I set up my office in his bedroom. I'm in there because it's quiet. So I have my computer and all my stuff, my camera, my boom set up in his bedroom. I'm sitting on his bed with my little like the TV table right there with everything set up on. I'm recording, and I go out in the living room, check on him about every 10 minutes, and I walk out there and he's laying on the couch playing with. He's got a couple action figures he's playing with. And he's watching Spaceballs like intently.
Yeah,
I'm
Dude, what a boss. Like,
He loves it, dude. He's like, he started calling it out. He's like, that looks like C-3PO, Dad, and that's supposed to be Vader. I'm like, all right, cool, man. I'm like, you're getting it, buddy. He had to ask me. He goes, who's that big hairy one? I'm like, that's supposed to be like Chewbacca, buddy. I was like, that's Barf. He's a Mog. So he said that earlier. He goes, I'm Barf. I'm a Mog. I'm like, oh God.
I'm my own best friend.
Yep. But the part with the tail and the oh, and he knew the Xenomorph chest buster because we watched all the we watched the scene from Alien.
Right.
So he knew that. He was like, it's a chest buster. I'm like, yep. And they start laughing when it danced. He goes, the one in the Alien didn't do that, Dad. I'm like, no, that one didn't dance, buddy. I was like, gangsters don't dance, they boogie.
Hell yeah.
But so Dave Filoni, man, I mean, to kind of round this back out for him, should we be worried about Cowboy Dave? I mean, is this a thing? I haven't listened to anybody else's videos on it. I mean, from this, it just sounds like lockstep Disney employee stuff to me, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Is what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like it's anything new, but it's new coming from him, if it is, because he's one of the people that left, one of the few people that, we as a fan base have kind of been able, especially in the Fandom Menace side, to put our trust in. But that Clone Wars, now I haven't watched it, but Cody, you watched it and you said, that's got some the two sisters in it, and that's a big point of contention with him now, is these two characters who are very out of place in this
Mm-hmm.
world, and they're almost too modern and on the nose to be in that
Yeah, they're too contemporary. Like
yeah.
especially with the haircuts, the way they dress, the way they talk.
With
Like
the
it's.
type of humor that comes from them.
Mm-hmm. Like I mean, Star Wars is even going back to the OT has had kind of a bad habit with haircuts. Like if you watch the original Star Wars, like some of those haircuts are straight out of the '70s.
Oh yeah.
Luke.
But still, I would call them more, I guess, timeless. Like if you watch them now, it doesn't jump out at me like, oh wow, that's a '70s haircut. It's just like that's
Mhm.
just a haircut.
Yep.
But these are very like purposefully just like doofusly styled haircuts.
Uh-huh.
Especially one of them looks like she has a fucking sponge on the front of her head,
Oh
or like a fucking like shower loofah or something. And I'm like, why?
Yeah, it's like you look at Luke's haircut and you're just like, yeah, it's just some kid. He's got long hair. I had
yep.
hair like that before.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big deal. Han Solo, no, just it's he's an adult and he's got hair.
Like
It's nothing. It's just the character's hairstyle.
Like
Yep.
even Leia's like fucking Cinnabons on the side of her head. That wasn't contemporary. That was just that's a Star Wars haircut. Like that they
Yep.
did something like Padme's hair was just hair. Hayden Christensen's hair was just hair. Obi-Wan's
Mhm.
hair was just hair. But it's like they went out of the like if you look like really look at the costumes on these two new characters, like they're ripped straight out of like one of the boroughs from New York or some shit. Like they're just very
Perfect.
contemporary. Like walked onto set and like I'm in my costume. This is what I wore today.
Oh
And the
god.
way they talk to each other, it's not. You know how they always say like 25% different.
Yep.
This is like five.
Oh.
Like it's like they did. There's almost no attempt.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not even gonna waste my time watching any more of it.
And the other thing I didn't
Well,
know
keep
about
watching
this.
it. Like finish the series, and when you get to season 7, just be cautious.
Yeah. Well, the thing I didn't know was that a lot of these episodes were already made at one point. Like
Yep.
I guess the Bad Batch had their episodes online forever, but I'd never seen them.
Me
And I
neither.
guess the Martez sisters had their episodes or a couple episodes, but originally they were one person and they were a man, and they were Ahsoka's kind of love interest. And I guess it was supposed to play out like her finding something to be attached to after the Jedi, but then realizing that you can't really do that because people die and the current political turmoil that was going on, and it was supposed to be something else entirely, I suppose. But I don't know.
Oh, yeah, this was the Asian actor, right? That got
Mm-hmm.
his part got taken away, and they didn't even tell him or something.
Yep. Like
Yeah.
he was all excited because his episodes are starting to air, and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I was the voice of so and so," and they're like, "Oops."
Yep. Yeah, dude. Yep. This was the other Filoni article I had focused on that aspect of it, and yeah, man, that is messed up. Holy shit, dude. They totally yeah, they didn't tell this guy all his shit got cut from the show because they went in quote unquote a different direction.
Right.
They went with why don't we just make Ahsoka a scissor sister fucking direction.
Oh,
Jesus, dude.
yeah. The other thing, so there's a term for it. Like there's a name for everything in Star Wars, but her head tendrils
Uh-huh.
get longer when she gets older. Like Twi'leks, they get older when they get
Yep.
longer. And this is supposed to have taken place only like maybe 6 months to like 9 months, maybe a year would be pushing it after the last season.
Mm-hmm.
And they've grown to where she's basically an adult. Like they're only I don't know probably 5 inches away from being her in Rebels.
Hmm.
So it's kind of weird. And then they put her in this fucking like that was another thing that just jumped right out of contemporaryism was they put her they took her out of her normal costume, which was fine, but they put her into basically a fucking jumpsuit and gave her a very Rosie the Riveter look.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, we talked about that before. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you look at her, you're like, oh shit,
Yeah,
that looks
which
like Star Wars denim.
That's
yeah,
a little
which
on the nose.
yeah, which there's nothing wrong inherently with Rosie the Riveter. I understand what
No.
she stands for, why she was made, all that kind of stuff. I get it. That's fine. But it was like that was kind of on the nose. Like it was
Yeah.
very just right out there in front. Like, you get it, you get it. Yeah, we got it. Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
it's Trace Martez and Rafa Martez,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Trace and Rafa. At least like Rafa sounds like it could be a Star Wars name. Trace, not so much. Trace is just short for Tracy.
Yep.
But then again, there's also Luke. There's a bunch of like normal name, quote unquote normal names.
Yeah.
But
They're both the ladies are actually pretty, but the characters are stupid.
I think it would have been funny if Vader's first name was like Dave. This is Dave Vader. This doesn't have the same. I have to change my name to Darth. Nobody takes me seriously as Dave. I sound like a goddamn accountant.
hell yeah.
This is Dave Vader, CPA.
Mm-hmm.
So
So,
do your taxes. And do you need a Death Star blown up?
so yeah, this is a scene from
Yeah.
one of the movies.
I've seen
One of
this
the shows.
image.
Yeah.
That character in the middle is hideous looking.
Yeah,
That's the one
it's
with the loofah on her head.
Yep. And the other one's got a fucking like
That side cut.
that is like a fucking like straight up like it should be just dyed purple and call her a feminist.
I like that haircut. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I on certain women I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Ray's Double Dong says that Ashley Eckstein came out on a podcast saying that she's happy Disney changed the script and that Ahsoka doesn't need a boyfriend.
Yeah, I saw that, man. I saw that. And
I'm happy with that too. She don't need a boyfriend.
she doesn't.
Like you don't really need to do anything romantic with her. Just keep making her cool.
Yep. They could have just left. I honestly like I don't really care about the character of Ahsoka Tano. I don't. I mean, I don't think cartoons should be canon. I mean, this is just me here. I just kind of riff. I don't think any of it should be canon at all. I mean, it has its place to exist. I'm not saying it doesn't. And if they want to use it to expand on some stories, but understand that it is non-canonical, okay. But and this character does not need to be in a goddamn Mandalorian. That was my next point. Like,
Yeah.
I why? What are you?
Filoni's obsessed with her.
Yeah. Oh fuck. I bet you he's got one of those fucking what are those robots they make over there that looks like her. I bet you old Cowboy Dave's got one of them bitches.
Probably. But my biggest problem, see, her tendrils are about the same length, and she's a full-on adult in Rebels. But my big thing with Trace, why she annoys the fuck out of me, at least Rafa, like, they play very typical, I guess, archetype kind of characters, like, because they grew up on 1313, so it's kind of the slums, and they're supposed to be streetwise and hip to everything, and kind of shady and crafty and shit. Rafa at least pulls it off somewhat. She's not very good at it, but she knows things. Trace, who also grew up with her in the same place, is like completely aloof and just gullible and naive to everything, and keeps like falling for shit and getting things wrong. And it's like, I don't believe that you grew up on 1313.
Yeah, she seems like she grew up in a little boarding school or something with some girls being all preppy and shit. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't believe her at all. Rafa, I believe a little bit, but Trace, not at all.
Well, Rafa's like a straight up like drug lord.
Yeah, like she does some backdoor dealings and some shady shit, and she does it to take care of her sister, while her sister is just like, I'm building a ship from scrap, and it's like, okay.
She gives it like the worst name ever. It's like, oh,
Yeah, the
God.
Silver Angel or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Are
Everyone-
you an
what's-
angel?
I heard the Deep Space pilots talk about him. I think they come from the moons of Iago.
I think.
I'm a person, and my name's Anakin.
Good for you.
Settle down there, Skippy.
I don't understand how people were that mad at him for that role.
No.
Like he's a little kid. He did fine in Jingle All the Way. I mean,
His only other movie.
Yeah.
yeah, his only other movie.
I'll say I don't think he was in anything else, was he?
No, he got bullied out of being an actor.
Yep.
So
Same way Kelly Marie Tran got bullied off by us toxic men.
right.
They still cling to that fucking narrative, dude. They still cling to that.
Even
Yo,
though
that shirt that she's wearing straight up looks like something like out of
you
like
you get it like Forever 21 or some shit or Urban
yeah.
Outfitters.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's too contemporary. Like the fur jacket, okay, there's some merit to it because some of the separatists wore fur jackets and shit like that. But it's like her outfit just jumped right off the rack at like Forever 21 or some shit.
Highlight Chris's last comment down there. That's really spot on, I think.
Dave Filoni introduced time travel into the Star Wars universe to keep Ahsoka alive. GL has always wanted Ahsoka dead, where DF kept her alive at any cost. Filoni is the emperor of Star Wars IRL.
In real life. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. He fucking is. Honestly, man, Lucas is right. She like I said, this character doesn't need to be involved in the Mandalorian. Like I'm really like nervous about this season of the Mandalorian.
I think it's going to
Hmm.
be done.
I just
I think
I
it's going to
have
be like over for a lot of fans because I think they hit the nail on the head. They
yep.
captured lightning in a bottle for this season. Everyone's going crazy, and I think the people that are already on edge with Lucasfilm, they're going to see the new season and they're going to do some weird shit. I think people are going to be done with this show.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, but everybody jumps on everything so quick too to say everything's woke, and we've said it time and time again. Everything is not woke because if everything is woke, then nothing is woke.
Right.
So they can't. I can't remember what it was the other day. Maybe it was the Dune. I want to say, yeah, it was the new Dune movie. um because they did one gender swap character, okay, and I don't remember the 1984 Dune movie. Have I seen it? Yes. Do I remember a damn thing from it outside of like a couple actors that were in it? No. I don't. I am not a big aficionado on Dune, but I mean, I'm not gonna jump out and be, oh, it's woke because I want to sit back and I want to see exactly how it plays out, because you can gender or race bend a character and it can still make sense and it can still work. It's just on what varying degree of ham-fistedness do they play car ramrod into this equation? That's the problem. So I kind of correlate that to Star Wars. I mean, because they're trying to say that this was it who's doing the Dune? Is that Universal?
I don't know. I'm
But
not
they
a
they
big Doom guy. I don't really. I saw the pictures, and it's basically the cast of the most popular actors in the past 3 years.
Yep. Yep, that's what it looks like to me. And I mean, this they're talking about this has like a potential to be like, that this like can be like another Star Wars, type
No,
franchise. I'm like,
no,
I I don't know.
it would have been already.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, well, the last time they made a Dune movie was it Sal? Was it 2000? That
For
sci-fi?
for for Dune,
Yeah,
I
this
don't remember.
it was like between 2000 2004 that sci-fi made they did a mini series, a Dune mini series, I believe it was. So I'd have to look back, but yeah, I don't know. I just
Yeah, I've always felt that Dune is one of those kind of movies or franchises that it's like it's like a book, or it's all those one of those movies that everyone says that they've seen and they love, but no one's ever really seen it,
yeah,
kind of thing. Like everyone says that they've read Catcher in the Rye or they've read this or that book, but they didn't. They just want to seem smart. And I've seen Dune. I own it on DVD, and it was all right. Like I don't have anything bad to say about it, but I feel like with very few exception, like I'm sure that it has a very strong cult following, but I feel like Dune's just one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, Dune, because that's a obscure sci-fi movie, and if I say that, then I'll have some street cred. So
Yeah.
that might be a bit of a hot take, but that's kind of how I feel about Dune and all of its, out of nowhere support kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I see. I don't know. Like I said, I saw it a long, long time ago, and like I remember, I know the one guy from Showgirls is in it. What's his name? Kyle MacLachlan or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
Sting was in it, I think.
Yeah,
And
Sting was in it. Patrick Stewart was in it.
oh, see, I didn't know Patrick Stewart was in the original one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, like I said, I don't remember barely anything about it. All I know is it's in the desert. Zendaya, that's another thing. Everybody's like, oh, Zendaya's. I'm like, well, Zendaya's a good actress.
Yeah, she is. She's a damn good actress,
You
but
you you take her out of the Spider-Man movies, dude. What sold me on her? I'm sorry to cut you off, Sal. Was The Greatest Showman.
mm-hmm.
She was awesome in that. I mean, she's got range. She's a really good actress. So
Yeah, I think she's really great. But so it's one of those things where people just see her name and they're like, "Oh, it's woke because she's in it," and it's like,
yep,
I think you're using woke. I think you're substituting woke for something else you really want to say.
yep. And that's the problem that we run into in some of these darker corners of the fandom menace is there are agents of chaos among us. There
Mm-hmm.
truly are, and they falsely use the fandom menace as a perceived shield for their bullshit, basically, so to speak. And
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't work that way, and that paints the rest of us under the broad strokes of a very, very ugly brush that
Yeah.
we needn't be painted with. So
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's I get into that, and like I said, I did my Batgirl video today, and the feedback on the video so far, has been, well, DC's kind of screwing up, and yeah, they are. Would no, now I don't think anybody has a big issue with Batgirl, but when you haven't got a Batman proper yet,
Mm-hmm.
and since franchise pointed out earlier, it's been 2012 since we've had a solo Batman movie because we never got a solo Batfleck,
Right.
which we should have, and we haven't had a Superman proper since 2013 solo in Man of Steel, which is a good movie, and Henry Cavill is a damn good Superman. He is. He is Superman to me. He's really owned that role, and I like him in it. Um, you know, they just need to do another movie with him, and focus on the main characters. Like this, and they're gonna set this Batgirl is rumored to be set in the Birds of Prey world, which is,
Mm.
yeah, that kind of hurts. Let's see, with Keely Chelsea, Legendary Pictures under the Universal umbrella. All right, so Legendary is the one that's doing the MonsterVerse with Godzilla and all them,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm looking forward to. Kong versus Godzilla. I think that's going to be freaking sweet.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
I'm looking forward to that, man. I'm not gonna lie, that one looks really good. I'm stoked about it. I liked Godzilla King of the Monsters. It was a far cry better than the 2014 Godzilla with Bryan Cranston, with
Mm-hmm.
which had some pretty big balls to kill him off.
Yeah, that I wish that he'd been in the movie more.
He
That
could
was
he
my
would
complaint.
he would have been good in King of the Monsters, as if you would have brought him forward in that, because what's her, Millie Bobby Brown, that was in that.
Ugh.
Oh God, was she fucking annoying? Like, it's like, well, how does she? Was she on Stranger Things or some shit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where it is. Because I've never watched the show, but I'm aware of it enough to know. Like, I thought that's what she was from, and probably why she gets roles is because everybody's was on that big Stranger Things kick for a couple years there, which I don't know if that's still going or not, but
Uh,
I love.
it's one of those things where they said originally back when season 2 was about to come out that they had been renewed up to season 5,
uh-huh.
and then when season 3 came out, they were like, "Oh, this might be the last season. We don't know," because like a lot of the kids and even David Harbour were getting other roles,
Yeah.
and so they're like, "Oh, this might be the last season." So they kind of left it that it could be done, but they left enough little threads to make another season if they wanted to. But even the kid actors, get this, like the kids in interviews were like, "Yeah, like season 4 or season 5 might be the last because we don't really want to go beyond that. We don't want to outstay our welcome.
Yeah.
And I was like, just finally, because a lot of these people, and we'll talk about it when we go over Lost, like they want to milk the shit out of everything and then
Yep.
just leave it dry.
Oh,
So
yeah. Well, that's pretty much it for Star Wars for me. I don't want to talk about Daisy Ridley.
Razy diddly.
I don't want to talk about Razy Diddley whining about the fans, and she's distraught by the backlash from Rise of Skywalker. You should be used to it by now, girl.
Shouldn't have played a shitty character.
Yep, that's it. You know, it's not Daisy's fault. It's the shitty
No.
character she played, and yeah,
I'm sure she's a very wonderful individual, like
Yeah.
outside of everything. And I feel like, and I say this, and I'm gonna back it up, but I feel like Star Wars was a big hindrance in her career. Like I think she probably has the potential to be a really great actress, and just Star Wars was not a good fit, and she made a big misstep playing Rey. And I
Yeah.
say this because John Boyega is a great actor. Like maybe not in Star Wars, but he was pretty good in Pacific Rim, which I'm not even really that big of a fan of that movie. But I recently watched the Netflix / BBC new version of Watership Down, and he does the voice of Bigwig, one of the bigger kind of enforcer rabbits, and he was my favorite character by the end of that show. Bigwig was my favorite one, and John Boyega was the voice of him because for people often forget that John Boyega is a British actor,
yep,
and so he can get some like kind of a lot of range in his voice when he doesn't have to put on an accent. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm hiccuping so much right now. But my other one is Oscar Isaac.
mm-hmm.
He was. If people haven't seen Ex Machina, go watch it because he's an outstanding actor. And then he's also, I believe, he's going to be in the new Dune movie.
Yes, he is.
But he was also Apocalypse. Even though
Yep.
Cody and I talked this morning how much we don't like that movie, I think he did a very convincing Apocalypse.
He was one of the best parts of that movie.
Yeah, and then they have him play Poe Dameron. So I feel like a lot of these actors have a much larger range than they weren't allowed to like play. You know what I mean? They were kind of told, no, say it like this, do that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
For those that
we're
are
just-
interested, Ray has also done more adult scenes. She was playing a corpse in a TV show, but she's not wearing much of a costume in that scene, if you catch my drift.
She naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw like somebody shared it one day, and it was on I think Instagram, and there's like, look, Daisy Ridley, they'll have no shirt. Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Was she dead?
Yeah.
Franchise said Boyega got ripped off in Star Wars. Yes, he did.
Yeah,
He
Yeah,
absolutely
did.
did. After what they said, and this is the only bit I'll give J.J. Abrams credit for, is he set up a really compelling, great redemption, possibility for an arc for Finn moving forward after that movie, and then Ryan Johnson came in and made a joke out of it.
Yeah. I feel like it would have been better served if, like, I feel like we didn't see him be a stormtrooper long enough.
Yeah,
And the fact that he was, like, hyperventilating on that planet. Was that Jakku that he was on where he was, like, hyperventilating after the slaughter? He didn't fire
Yeah.
off a single round.
Yep.
So he didn't fire off a single round, but then not even 10 minutes later, we see him in a TIE fighter blowing up the friends and people that he grew up with.
Yes.
So I was like, I don't believe this.
Yeah, that kind of bothered me when I saw that. I'm like, so yeah, like you said, dude, it was like 10 minutes. Now he's just blowing up his boys without a care in the world, but he couldn't shoot some nameless villagers that he had no attachment to.
That he's been programmed his entire life to do.
Yep. Now he has a
Conscience all of a sudden.
yeah, his conscience is really striking at him now. I don't
Well,
think
apparently
so.
he's force sensitive, so that's
Yeah.
a fucking thing.
Oh yeah, in Rise of Skywalker, they made that perfectly clear that he was. How do you know? I feel something. What? I feel something. Oh my god.
Do you have the
That's
poo-poo
called
cramps? What's going on?
intuition.
Intuition. Yeah, it's just like, do you guys not know how to write? Because you don't, and it's very clear. Like, it. Listen, I have little cousins. They could write a better story than them. So you're getting paid that much money to to do this shit, that's insane. That blows my mind. You're getting paid to write this garbage.
Oh God, yeah, that's about what it amounts to too. I'm Star Wars is so like I'm gonna make a High Republic video here, and it's gonna be about that character they're saying is a better Jedi than Yoda. So yeah, I'm gonna do one on that.
That's crazy.
She's gonna end up training Yoda. You know that, right?
Oh, I know.
Probably.
I'm waiting for it.
She's gonna make Yoda her bitch.
Oh God.
And what's funny, it's like, look at all the diversity. There's a
Oh
lot of humans.
yep.
So
Yep. It's ridiculous, man. They have no fucking clue how to do that right. They just can't. They need to sell it back to George, honestly.
no, I don't know how that would work.
I don't
I would hope George would take it and be like, yeah, give me my fucking franchise back. Let's do it better. It's like, oh,
First thing he'd do, he'd make a movie about the Gungans.
Mm.
I'd rather watch that than any of the sequel
I'd rather
movies, bro.
watch that than anything we've got in the last fucking 8 years.
Misa want to see that movie.
I just want to see. I want to see how Big Boss Nass is doing.
No, we know how he's doing, but that's a conversation for off air.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've we've had that discussion.
Boom.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Yeah.
So, I was gonna say, Cody, what do you got for us?
Yep.
All right. Well, I got some PlayStation news for you guys. I'm sure everybody's seen this in the chat. But the PlayStation 5 controller was released earlier this week, and a lot of people are liking it, a lot of people aren't. So I kind of wanted to get your guys' opinion on this and kind of see where we're at. Now, everybody in the chat, let us know how you feel about the new PlayStation controller. So PlayStation 5 comes out later on this year, and they just released the controller for it. So you can get a look right here of it.
I
So what do
don't
you
like
guys
it.
think?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, so I say this, like I grew up, my brother had a PlayStation, my friends had PlayStation 2, I had a PS3, and now I have a PS4. When I first saw a PS4, I didn't like the controller because it looked uncomfortable, but it's actually really comfortable, it's really ergonomic in your hand, and I
Yeah.
enjoy that controller a lot. This, on the other hand, again, looks uncomfortable. It looks like they're like, hey, people like Xbox, right? Even though they outsold the Xbox One like 2-1. And those buttons, I can't tell if those are like receded down into the body of the controller.
They're
or
lifted
if
up.
They're lifted up? Okay. Because okay, cool. Because it looked like, okay, they must be translucent then. Because it looked like initially that it was like, wait, are those touch buttons? And I was like,
Yeah,
that's going to fuck a lot of people up.
Yeah, that would have fucked me up completely. I want to push a fucking button, dude.
Yeah, I mean, the technology's there to do a touch for the buttons instead. But at the same time, like there's something about that you pressed it because you made contact. Because with touchscreens, even on your phone, you have to like clean it off because of fingerprints. And then,
Yep.
like if you still have the thumb scan like I do, you have to like clean that off every once in a while because it won't reach your thumb. And I like to rest. You rest your fingers on the buttons. So, if you're resting on a touch button, and I don't know why I'm going off that tangent. They're not touch buttons, but I don't know. There's something about like the cylindrical shape holding it in your hand, like it's a lot more comfortable. That looks like it's maybe they're wider, maybe the controller's wider or something, but it looks like they're really thin.
Huh.
So
I don't know what this is. Now that the PS5 controller has been revealed, we've updated our list of rumors below to strip out those that are no longer relevant. Given that we don't know the exact specs of the DualSense PS5 controller, though, or its full range of functionality, we've kept some of the related stories we've heard about the last few months. If they turn out to be true or not, we'll adjust this section accordingly. Wireless charging, I don't think so, because it clearly shows you got a port right here to charge your controller, so it's out of there. Heart rate and sweat sensors. That is stupid.
that's really dumb.
Yeah. Just don't even think about doing
Now,
that.
the one caveat I have to that is I don't know. Have you played games like Watchtower or Man of Medan or Until Dawn or anything like that?
No, I haven't.
Okay,
I looked at
so
Until Dawn and I thought about getting it.
it's really fun. I enjoy
Okay.
it. Man of Medan is made by the same crew. It's the same kind of. They're like part of an anthology series, so it's really good. I think it's worth playing. In those games, because they're horror based, there's parts where you have to like hide from somebody, and it's kind of like a rock band or DDR thing. You have to time the X button with your heart rate so they don't catch you. I think that would be an interesting concept if you can like switch that on to where it does your heart rate because it scares the shit out of you in the game. Like it goes out of its way to scare you. So
Hmm.
if you have to control your heart rate so you don't get caught, that would be an interesting thing. But again, that's like one game every 5 years or some shit, so wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want like a heart rate sensor in your controller. Like it's fun. I wouldn't want a game to like be mad that I have a fast heart rate during this certain part of the game, then I lose the level. So then I'm
Mm-hmm.
pissed off, and then my heart rate goes up more, and I keep losing the fucking level.
Yeah, it could be, and this is one of those things that I'm willing to bet this is something they would do because they love to nerf shit for people because the game's too hard.
Yeah,
Is if it can tell your heart rate's getting elevated because you're getting angry or frustrated, that it eases back on the difficulty for you.
it calls 911 for you.
Yeah, but so things like Man of Medan, where you're talking about losing the level or whatever, like Man of Medan Until Dawn, if your character dies, they're dead.
Huh.
Like you don't, there's no save point to go back to. Like you can only go forward in the game. But because it also gives you like 8 or 9 characters to play with, and it gives it replayability because the main plot points are there, but like the interaction between characters and kind of the story changes based on who's living and who's dead. Like cutscenes change and all that kind of shit. So and there's different, there's different achievements like everyone lives, everyone dies, kind of thing, like different trophies to unlock. But it's a lot of fun. You can play the
Hmm.
whole thing in probably like 4 hours.
I gotta try that out now. Shit.
Yeah.
What game is that?
Man of Medan and Until Dawn.
Oh, okay.
So they're kind of reaction based horror games. Like there's not a lot of shooting or anything like that. It's kind of like, oh, there's a bad guy, run, and then look for clues because you don't know what's going on. You're trying to solve like Until Dawn. I won't get into spoilers, but there's like about an insane asylum, and there's a whole bunch of shit going on. You have to find like little pieces of evidence that kind of put together the whole story for you. And then you can find what's called totems, which are like little things that you look and they give you a premonition, a completely out of context premonition,
Hmm.
but it has to do with like you'll pick up a totem and you'll look at it and you'll see a flash of someone just getting shot in the head or some shit, and then you'll see the scenario later and you're like fuck, and you try to react to keep them alive, and usually for me I go against my gut and I get them killed.
Okay.
So because I'm always like, no, okay, if I like that option makes because it's reaction, it's timed reaction, like press square for this, triangle for that, or
Yep.
O for this for your like input, and it's timed. And sometimes you get like a few minutes to decide, sometimes you get like 10 seconds to decide, and it just goes away quickly. And I'm always like, no, that answer's too obvious, so I'll go with the other one, and then I get killed.
Huh.
So, but then on the flip side of that, you go with the obvious answer and you get killed. So it's always kind of, you never really know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun,
No one's ever really gone.
right?
No one's ever really gone, Brian.
Brian.
Yes.
That just seemed to fit there.
Yeah.
I mean, the controller, it looks like it's about the same like width
Mm-hmm.
as the PS4. I would say maybe. Hold on.
Maybe.
Let me grab my controller real quick and I don't know. I mean,
See, I remember when they were
maybe.
talking about leaks and rumors that originally that trackpad in the middle, one of the rumors that had leaked out was that it was supposed to be a touchscreen. And that you're supposed to be able to access like your apps and shit in game. Like if you have your game paused, you want to watch YouTube, you just click the YouTube icon on your controller and it'll load it up.
That's
It looks like
insane.
it looks like they decided not to do that.
I don't know. Like it
Because
just it looks like the same thing as the PS4 controller, but I mean, I don't know. Actually, to me right now, it looks a little bit thicker than the one I got in my hand. I got a PS4 controller right here, so
mm-hmm. I
it's
don't know.
just it's got that dumbass Xbox like design. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna
Mhm.
really harshly judge it until I get it in hand. Like, I can actually hold one and see what it
Mhm.
feels like while I'm playing a game. But it just I hate the Xbox controller so much because why are you gonna put the fucking triggers or the analog sticks diagonally from each other? That's
Mhm.
stupid.
That my whole thing is this is I'll explain it, but I don't like white. Like I never liked white consoles. I never liked
Oh, I
the
do.
360 being white, and it's because as someone who collects a lot of toys, white yellows badly over time, especially when it's going to be in your hands and all the oils from your hands are going to seep into it. That's only going to be white for probably 2 months before you get all those fucking like dirt stains that are stuck into the plastic.
Well, my girlfriend's got a white Xbox control or not Xbox, PlayStation controller,
Mm-hmm.
and her brother and her sister all use it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still white.
Okay.
Like, it's held up really well, so I'm not really too worried about that as I am just like the feel of it.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
really
don't know.
hope if it does suck, I hope PlayStation's smart enough to be very good with their customer service and go, "Hey, let's make the PlayStation 4 controller, but we'll just put the electronics of the PS5 in it."
Mm-hmm. Didn't
That
they
would
do
be
that with PS4? Didn't they make a PS3 controller that worked on PS4?
probably
Or am I thinking of PlayStation 3?
maybe
Uh,
3. I'm not sure. I don't
yeah,
know.
and I know they did that with was it Nintendo did that with the Switch or the Wii or something. They made like a GameCube controller that worked with it or some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I I I, I can't off the top of my head think of a single game where I've used that trackpad.
No, there's no. Well, actually, never mind. There's some games where you press the pad
Hmm.
and then you have to like it goes to a menu or something. There's a lot of games I've played
Yeah,
that
I
you
mean
use it.
that's different. I mean like because it's a trackpad, it's supposed to be like a mouse pad kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like
no, I've never used it during a game, but if I had to type something up, like in the PlayStation store or something, had to type something or a password, you would just
hmm
use that to go through the keyboard.
No, I just use the buttons. I feel like that's faster for me.
Hmm. It's still cool. It's just I don't. It's not too much of a use for it, in my opinion. But
Hmm.
My
all you have to
Sega
do is
Genesis controller's only got 3 buttons. I don't know.
yeah.
Hell yeah. Gotta upgrade, get yourself a 6 button controller.
I, I got I got the let's see, I've got the N64 controllers with the turbos on them, the like the what are they, the Super Cats ones? If you've
Yeah,
ever seen those.
Wildcats.
Yeah, Wildcats, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yep, I got a couple of those. Those have got like a ton of buttons on them that I don't even use.
Hmm. The turbo lock button and
Yeah.
all that shit.
Yep.
Which those buttons are helpful with certain games.
Yeah, they don't do anything for me in the wrestling game or the 007 one though. That's normally what we play on that. Which tonight I'm torn. I'm like, am I gonna hook up some wrestling or am I gonna go with 007 on the big screen tonight? I'm not sure yet.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Ray's Double Dong gets horse brother John Favreau as our last hope. If he can't turn things around, Star Wars is fucked for good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking that way, man. Because like I said, we had our eggs in the Filoni and Favreau basket. Now it's down to Favreau. So, and then there was one.
Well, the good news is it seems like the man, even though we credit Filoni with The Mandalorian, I feel like Favreau is the main creative force behind it.
Yeah.
So if
I've
I'm not
always thought that.
yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he actually wrote like the entire season, but he directed the first episode, and then Filoni directed 2 episodes or one. I don't remember, but I think that was more Favreau's brainchild. However, as we know, Favreau he has a really good habit of starting something and then leaving, because that's what he did with Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he had the wonderful Shane Black direct Iron Man 3, so
Oh,
yay. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Fuck Shane Black.
Oh, jeez. Look at franchise history's last comment.
My Xbox controller was white until I saw me. Now it's black. All right, I see myself.
Jeez.
That's awesome.
Uh, he'll be on the show Monday night, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be back over on mine on Monday. Have him
But
God.
but yeah, guys, do you guys want to see what the Florida man's up to?
Oh, always,
Sure.
especially in these times. I want to know what Florida man's doing to keep himself busy.
All right, so
Yeah, I want to know how he's competing with the Tiger King.
oh man, well, I don't think anything's gonna be able to touch the Tiger King for a while. That's a
Except his cellmate.
Mm-hmm.
oh, I bet he's living it up, dude.
Yeah, his cellmate's probably too old for him.
Yeah, yeah, like what's his name? His former campaign manager said
Josh.
he said 17, 18, and dumb.
Yep.
He goes, I passed that about 12 years ago.
My God, dude, he's a
And,
fucking freak.
and that poor dude had to sit there, his campaign manager, in that office while Travis just blew his freaking brains all over the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said he didn't even mean to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was, I was like, oh shit. Like they showed that video, like his reaction to it, and it was like, wow, man. Because he said he could see it in his face. He was like, oh damn, like he didn't know it was loaded. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, first of all, man, why would you even put that's just gun safety 101, and that angers me.
Wait, did he die?
Yeah, splattered his shit all over the wall, man. He painted the walls with his brain.
Yeah.
He put that pistol right up the side of his head, up to the right side, and pushed his mind to the left. His fucking brain did the Cupid shuffle, man. It was round, round. Oh, sorry. But no, I mean, like it was, yeah, that shit was. I mean, I'm making jokes, but like he didn't mean to. Like that wasn't like a fucking planned out thing. He was just being kind of like being a smart ass with it, and that's why drugs are bad if you're handling guns. Okay, kids, drugs are bad.
Oh man. Well, tell you what, we got some Florida man stories that'll make you think that Tiger King Joe Exotic is kind of somewhat sane. So here we go. So we'll start off with this one. Florida man tries to avoid arrest by hiding underwater in a pond. Gets caught when he comes up for air.
It works in the movies.
He couldn't breathe through that reed.
Exactly. A Florida man tried to evade arrest by hiding from police underwater in a pond, but was captured when he came up for air. Daniel Christopher Booth, 36, was working at a solar plant on Hogan Road near Wellborn, Florida. On Wednesday, the Suwannee County Sheriff's Office said in a news release on Facebook, Booth had warrants for his arrest from Baker County for selling methamphetamine. The sheriff's office said, so a sheriff's deputy was sent to the plant to arrest him. But when the deputy arrived, Booth ran away and tried to hide from canine teams in a pond. But his action movie antics didn't quite go to plan. When Deputy Wadford arrived at the solar plant, Mr. Booth decided that he didn't want to go to jail, and he tried to make his escape and ran away. Now we can only assume that Mr. Booth has seen one too many action movies and thought he could hide from the canine teams from Suwannee CI and Mayo CI, or is that CL CI, whatever, by hiding under the water in a pond. The sheriff's office added alongside a facepalm emoji. He didn't take into account he's not a fish, and he had to come up for air and was quickly captured. The sheriff's office also posted a picture of Booth's capture on their Facebook page, showing him handcuffed and shirtless and being led by a sheriff's deputy away from the pond moments after he was captured. So there you go.
Oh boy. Yeah, that seems about right.
He looks like he's the spokesperson for Rockstar Energy and beef jerky.
And now messing with Sasquatch.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah. Yep, that's the kind of guy I would assume that would hide in a pond because he was getting arrested for selling the meth. Meth. It's crack for crackers.
Isn't that great though? Like
That's freaking. He tried to hide. He tries to hide in a pond. Come on, man.
I wonder what, like, he just held his breath like a moron, or he tried the little reed thing and it didn't work, or
Yeah. Like, what is the thought process there? Like, what point you're like, well, I'm not going to jail. Like, do you really like see that as like a viable end game? Like, you're gonna hide in the pond and they're just gonna give up all of a sudden? Like you've been watching the Keystone Cops too much at that point, my man. Like that. it doesn't work that way. I don't think this is going to go the way you think it's going to go.
Yeah, well, the fucking guy like doesn't realize. You realize like you go in the water and the ripples aren't going to stop for a while.
Yeah.
So, moron.
And that's I want to send a link to this. My cousin is a canine officer, and
Oh,
I'm
God.
gonna send him a link to this. Be like, you ever deal with anything like this? I've been hit by one of those dogs too.
Really?
Yeah, I put all the pads on and stuff like that, you know, the protective equipment, and he sicked his dog on me. And I will say this, that damn thing for was about a 60, I'd say about a 65 pound German Shepherd. I was about 235 at the time. That son of a bitch. I mean, and the more impressive than the force that it comes at you with is how quick that dog will stop on command, like on a dime, right before it gets to you and just stare at you.
Those things are cool, man.
Oh yeah, it was his work dog passed away a couple years ago. He went through a bunch of shit with the department down there, but he had to he got another dog and everything recently. So yeah, man, it's crazy though. Those dogs they're absolutely like amazing how like well they're trained, and that's why I got the idea to train my my dog in German. All her
That's what I need to do.
her
But
commands and stuff.
My dog's a window licker, so he's a goofball. He's a goober. I was reading this while you were talking, and I was like, holy shit! Like, there's another mini story right here. It says the incident comes after weeks after another Florida man tried to avoid arrest after he was found rolling naked in a muddy ditch and making bird noises. Police were called to a home in High Springs, Florida last month after reports that Donald Watts, 38, was high on meth and acting erratically. Deputies later found Watts in a ditch completely nude, and when they approached him, Watts attempted to escape by hiding under the porch of a mobile home. He left his hiding place after a brief standoff and punched one of the deputies several times before running off. Deputies eventually tracked Watts to a nearby woods, and he was taken into custody, but not before he bit a police dog.
Oh.
So fuck that guy.
Oh, no, sir.
Have fun picking up soap.
That's assaulting an officer right there. That's a lot of these people don't realize that if you harm one of those dogs, you are hurting a police officer.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the same as you biting the red. You know, he said he punched one of the officers a couple times and he bit the dog. Well, there's at least 3 to 4 counts of assaulting an officer right there with intent to probably commit great bodily harm, less than murder. Or they might get him for attempted murder of an officer.
It just blows my mind.
At what point in your day are you like, I'm just gonna bite this fucking dog? I'll show you. Take that, Rin.
Fuck it.
Take that, Rin Tin Tin.
Well, what's even funnier, guys, you know we've been in this quarantine, so as much as I'd like to, get out and go run from the police and jump in a pond and try to breathe under or breathe through a little weed or something, I'm going to sit at home. But a lot of people are sitting at home, and especially the people that have to work out from home. Florida judge pleads with attorneys to put on some clothes for virtual court hearings during quarantine.
She shouldn't be on her bed if her feet are that dirty.
Yeah, they are pretty dirty.
God damn it.
Fact.
They are, man. And those sheets are white, too.
A Florida judge has one request for attorneys showing up for court hearings via Zoom. Get out of bed and put on some clothes. Broward Circuit Judge Dennis Bailey made the plea in a letter published by the Weston Bar Association. With social distancing and quarantines in effect, a lot of us have been thrown into the Zoom world. Whether it's business meetings, podcasts, or just seeing a friendly face, odds are you've been doing these virtual meetings. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't put on a pair of jeans or nice pants in over a month. It's just been sweatpants and shorts for your boy. On the flip side, I have a friend who has actually worn jeans every single day of quarantine. I've notified the authorities and proper measures will be taken to make sure when the world resumes, he doesn't see the light of day. If you're wearing nice clothes these days in your own home, you're a sociopath. With Barstool, we luckily don't have a dress code, even when the world is operating normally. You take a stroll through our office and you'll see about 50 different types of outfits. Dave rocking a three-piece suit, Coley in a jumpsuit that costs $1,000, K Marco in some smart business casual, Carabas in a Red Sox jersey, Mush in homeless people clothing, Walker in anything a recent school sent him to wear. The list goes on and on. As long as you get to your work or get your work done, it doesn't matter what you wear. Unfortunately, for other jobs, it doesn't appear to be the case. Enter this Florida judge who has had it up to here with this virtual court hearings. It is remarkable how many attorneys appear inappropriately on camera, Bailey said in the letter. One male lawyer appeared shirtless, and one female attorney appeared still in bed, still under the covers, putting on a beach cover up. Won't cover up your poolside in a bathing suit, he wrote. We've got shirtless dudes, one female under the covers, and people posting up by their pool in bathing suits.
Jesus.
Boo! Hey, Judge, how about you live a little here? The world is facing a global pandemic. Pardon me if I don't want to put on a tie and a belt to hear some bullshit court proceedings. Talk about being a fun sponge. We haven't been outside being normal humans in over a month. Don't try and bring that sense of normalcy to me right now. Let the people wear what they want. They've been through enough as it is. This is Florida, for crying out loud. It's the norm that it is. Well, you would think all places Florida would be the one to allow that kind of behavior. Everything is truly upside down these days. That's true.
True.
I see some female attorney still in bed in a court hearing. Oh my God.
That'd be kind of cool, though. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie. Like, hey, Your Honor, I object. And they like bounce, and you're like, what?
Our Lux, you probably look like Ball Breaker from fucking Porky's.
Or like our thumbnail.
Oh.
I love our thumbnail.
You mean Amy Schumer?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Did you
Yeah.
did you hear about her having to change her son's middle name?
I haven't heard anything about that woman.
Oh,
They-
God.
This was
Let's
on.
pull that up.
Me and the wife were watching TMZ before we put the kid to bed. And this is great. I used to think Florida was a magical paradise when I was younger. Man, I was wrong. Amy Schumer had to change her son's middle name. Do you have the story, Cody?
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up real quick.
All right. That's freaking great, dude.
Insane.
Normally
And
I
fuck
don't
her. Like,
I don't like her. No, I don't want to fuck her. Maybe when
no,
she
I'm not
first
going on CNN because you
Ma-
suck ass.
maybe when she first like released her first like did her first comedy album, she was still kind of thick, but she was all right. And just after that she just cabron. No, thanks. Nope.
Yeah, Amy Schumer changed her son's moniker because it sounded too much like genital. So choosing a name for your child to go through life with this is a huge responsibility for parents, and unfortunately, not everyone thinks it through for long enough. Fucking Amy. Why? She looks like Grimace.
Yep.
She does, and she steals other people's jokes.
Yeah,
Oh God, yeah.
and she's fucking gross.
Yep.
This week, comedian Amy Schumer, 38, who named her first child Jean Ethel Fisher, revealed she swapped her 11-month-old's middle name to David after it dawned on her that his name sounded too much like genital. Now, why? How would you not pick up on that like right away?
A lot of parents don't. I went to school with a kid whose initial spelled ass.
Well, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it was one of those things that like no one really thought about it. It wasn't until like because he always went by his middle name, and so no one ever thought about it. And then the first day of school they always do roll call, like, oh, call me this instead. Oh, okay. And then it was like probably junior high when they're like, oh, they called out his first name, and it dawned on everyone like, wait a minute, your name's this, this, and this. Your initials spell ass, dude.
My girlfriend's initials are Bar, so
Nice.
Oh shit.
that's just crazy.
who the fuck? You know, this is the thing. Parents naming their kids. These people name their kids these stupid contemporary names, and it's like, yeah, they don't realize they're gonna have to live with those forever. So, I mean, I don't.
So my old lady, she works at a blood center, and all the time people are coming in and they fill out their paperwork. She works in the back, but anytime a good one comes through, they're like, hey, check this out. And so they'll come up and she's like, there was a dude, his literal first name was Henny-C.
Genesis.
Like his first name was pronounced Hennessy, but it was spelled Henny-C.
That is really cool.
Oh my
And
god,
then
That's
I
dope.
mean, not until he goes to find a job.
yeah.
The kid's only 19. I imagine that's why he's there donating
Henny.
because he can't make money. And then there was some woman that came in. Her name was literally Mary-Wana.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, I like my gimmick, but I mean, damn.
Yeah, and it's not one of those like, oh, we didn't know. It's like she's like, no, straight up, my mom named me after the plant.
Oh, that's. I would have changed my name. Like seriously.
Yeah.
Marijuana Quacka?
Oh god.
It's worth mentioning that where she works is about 2 minutes away from where I live. If that gives you kind of any idea of the social demographic here.
Oh.
So.
But there's one of my. You were talking about names. One of my mother-in-law is a teacher, and one of her students' name, and this is no shit. His legal first name was Baby Boy.
What?
That's his name was Baby Boy Johnson.
Yeah.
That's like haha Clinton Dix.
Yes, dude. Yes. Every time I see that name, I'm like, this motherfucker's name is haha. Like,
yeah. Or it's like, what's that kid that got, he got,
Olina.
I think he's going to LSU or something. The guys at work were talking about it, but his name is literally the coldest, and his middle name is to ever do it.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about.
And I'm just like, for real?
Yeah.
Like, that's, or there was one that his name was like committed, and his middle name was to LSU.
Yeah.
Shit. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, what is wrong with your parents?
the coldest to ever do it.
oh my god.
That's kind of funny because like the LSU one's stupid, but like that's a joke. That joke still fucking hits like now.
I guess, but I just can't even fucking imagine. Like, there has to be some statute or something. Like, I know freedom of speech and all that, but there's got to be something in the hospitals where they're just like, you can't name your kid that.
No.
Yeah. Common sense has got to take over at some point.
Like, I remember it was 5 years ago or something like that. I remember reading an article where there was a set of parents wanted to name their son Adolf.
Oh.
Like, and
Nope.
the hospital said, no, we're not writing that name down there. But they were like very adamant about it because they were of a certain background.
You gotta name your son Saint after that, man.
Yeah. And they were very adamant about naming their son Adolf, and it's like, no.
Have they never been outside before? Like,
No, but they hate everyone that's out there that's not them.
Yeah.
If they gives you any kind of inclination to what kind of people they might be.
I can see it.
yay!
The hospital's like, normally we don't do this, but go fuck yourselves.
What if they're like right out of the womb and they already had the name for him, and they actually did name him Adolf, and then the doctor's like, all right, we're gonna clean him up, and then like the nurse takes a Sharpie to his upper lip. Here you go.
It's like Pam in that episode of The Office. If I'd have known nobody dressed up here, I wouldn't have used oil paint for my mustache.
Yay, Pam! Yay, Pam!
Pam. I just watched the episode the other day where Michael was banging her mom.
Oh, dude, I'm almost on that episode right now.
That like her reaction to that is like when he's sitting there and he's telling her and he's kind of just nodding his head and she fucking just, oh my god, I love that. That's probably one of my favorite just like raw reactions to anything on that damn show. It's beautiful. It is truly beautiful.
This whole show's beautiful, man.
Yeah, it is.
I was watching it and Ryan was like breaking up with Kelly.
Yeah.
He's like, we need to break up.
Which time?
So all right. It was like before he leaves.
Oh, when he goes to corporate.
No, it was after corporate. He got fired, and he's kind of a loser again.
Okay.
And he's like, "All right, we're breaking up. You know what? I just can't.
Mm.
Let's do this like adults. Let's have sex one more time, and then if you have any cash, I could use that." It's like, damn,
I was supposed to do that when I broke up with him. Fuck.
Jax. This kid's almost dabbing.
God damn it.
Asius? Asasius? How do you pronounce that?
What?
This name?
What name?
I don't know what name you're talking about.
Hold on. Like the baby names.
Probably look like Acacius, probably.
Genesis, Olana, Saint, Jax. I thought I was sharing it earlier, so
Did
I
it say
sounded retarded.
Magnus?
Yara,
Yara.
Jackson, spelled really weird.
What?
Psalm.
Oh my God.
Rex, T-Rex.
What? Does the kid have that small of arms? You're gonna name him T-Rex? Like why?
It means king, so
Oh.
we named him Rex.
Yeah, here, King, you drop this.
Yeah, that's so fucking stupid.
Oh God.
Baby names no one will use in 2020. Alexa. Chase. Okay. Aubrey.
I like Aubrey.
Tyler,
Isabel, Kevin.
I like Tyler and Isabel
Annabelle.
and Annabelle.
No.
Can't eat cats, Kevin.
You can't eat cats, Kevin. You can't eat cats.
Okay, I thought this was going to be a funny article.
Fiona.
Someone's gonna read that and they're purposely gonna name their kids that. But
Yep.
I'm drawing near on time, gentlemen.
All right, my man. Yeah, we've been going for about 2.5, so.
Yep.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today. Everybody in the chat, I'll acknowledge I can't even fucking talk. Franchise History TV, Keely Chow, Ray's Double Dong. Who else was hanging out with us today?
Captain Handyman.
Captain Handyman. Yeah.
Tony Tone Deaf was up in there a little while ago.
Oh yeah, Tony.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for joining us tonight for another episode of The Boardroom. I hope you guys had fun. Gentlemen, pretty good episode.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
So, everybody take care. Join the Fandom Menace and subscribe to Sal, the Dawn of 2 Cent Toys, and Etep Wokuains, the place to be reviews. Gentlemen, go ahead and plug your channels and let the folks know what you got going on.
Yeah. Don. Salvador, 2 Cents Toys. Got some reviews coming up. Fun stuff. Got some customization videos coming up, and gonna turn it over to Pete.
All right, I've got a High Republic video coming out tomorrow, and also you will have my Elaine Bennis video, still putting asses in the seats, by Friday. And I will be on a Tales from the Crypt podcast with Phoenix West tomorrow night, who is a guest on my show this Monday. Very funny stand-up comedian. I will be with him tomorrow night reviewing some Tales from the Crypt, and I will let you guys know as soon as that is available for your listening pleasure, I shall say. And Friday night, I will be over on Raiders of the Lost Flicks celebrating my birthday. Sal will be my guest as we are watching two of my favorite cheesy movies. We'll be watching Blood Salvage, which is a horror movie from 1990, and we will also be watching Monkey Shines, which is from 1988, I believe, and just two really cool offbeat horror movies. And those are both available on YouTube, so you can watch along with us. That's it, man. It's my birthday this weekend.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for joining us. We're going to peace out and tune into the boardroom in a couple weeks, not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. And we're going to give you a 2 or 3 hour segment of boardroom awesomeness. Later, guys.